Oh, baby, you see exactly what it is. And I'm going to tell you right now. I was talking to this man before the show. Right here on Last Second Sports, as soon as that Cardinal game ended, we didn't even really talk about the Cardinal game. We immediately turned our sights to the Cowboys. This man right here said the same thing. As soon as that post game came on, after they had beat the brakes off those Patriots, he said it was instantly San Francisco 49ers. That's all we cared about all week long. This game feels different. This game is the rivalry game. Week 5, Boss came on the channel. We did the collab just a few weeks ago and got y'all ready for this 5 weeks ago. And now we are finally here. It is game week. Boss and I will be back in just a moment. All right, welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we're giving you our take down to the last second. And as I said, it is a behind enemy line special week. You know it's special because the backdrop is different. Normally, I got the Last Second Sports backdrop, but I made this one special, Boss. It's got you in the corner. It's got my logo in the corner, 49ers colors, Dallas Cowboys colors. Let's get it cracking. Boss, how you doing tonight, my man?
I'm good. Easy money. You know what I mean, just already ready to get this dub. So I already basically put on my thumbnail bet on it. So like, let's go and start it off, man, because talk is cheap. I ain't trying to because I had Wayne on today. I was nice to Wayne because Wayne was the first time on my channel. So I was like, I'm going to be nice. But see, I'm not going to be nice to you. See, this is our third time doing content. So I'm not finna, listen, this is not finna be no easy ride for you. So first thing, what we betting on it? That's the first time I say, what we betting on talking cheap. I ain't trying to hear nothing else first. What are we betting on first? And then I'm going to tell you why we go whoop that ass.
Here's what I want to do. You a hat guy? I know you got the Christmas hat, but do you rock hats in general or
all
no?
day, all day.
Okay,
Real quick, and then also I have this hat. Obviously, it's out of season, but it's gonna be early Christmas. That's why.
Okay. Here's what I want to do. Here's the bet. The losing team. So after the Cowboys lose, now I know it'll take a couple days. Like, yeah, it can't happen right away. I'm not going to expect you to go to the mall all sad after the Cowboys lose and go get the thing, right? And it'll be late. Yeah. But within the next week, I want you to order yourself a 49er hat and you rock it on the first stream that hat comes into town. And if the 49ers lose, I will do the same thing. I will wear a Cowboy hat all damn stream because I lost the bet. You down with that bet?
Easy bet. I actually want to up it. I want to up it out, but we'll stick with that. I'm gonna try to think of something a little bit more vicious than that. You know what I mean? Because they gonna say, "Oh, he just lost the bet." Because sometimes it's like, you know what? It's a badge of honor to bet on your team. You know what I mean? Or to even lose a bet because they mean you put your balls on the line for your team. So, but yeah, let's go with that. We bet something on it. That's the bet.
Okay. All right. We'll take that bet. As long as you're in, and if we think of something different, we can come out with it. We'll tweet it. But for now,
we'll tweet it. The bet. Right now, that's the bet. All right. So we can talk football.
Okay. For sure. All right. Let's get into it. The Dallas Cowboys have been a little bit banged up, man. And I got to say this. When we talked this offseason, well, not this offseason, right before the season started, basically, we had a conversation. We both propped up our guys. You were propping up Diggs and how great he was, and I was propping up Aiyuk and how great he was. And I got to say, after 2 weeks, I was so excited for that matchup because it was already living up to exactly what we thought it was going to be. Brandon Aiyuk has been balling. Diggs was arguably the best corner in the league, giving up a passer rating of 1 through 2 weeks. And then travesty happened, man. It was very, very unfortunate. I hit you, I believe. I was like, dude, this is terrible. Yeah. Either way, man, the Dallas Cowboys have had some injuries. Not only that, Bland is a hell of a player. I'm going to give him credit as well. But that offensive line has been very banged up. You guys were down as many as 3 offensive linemen. I know you still got your left tackle out, potentially, or has been out. What is going on this week? Are these guys healthy? Do you expect all of them to play? I mean, what is it looking like on the injury report?
Well, on the injury report, it's I actually didn't even check it yet. I should have, but I will say I've been keeping up with I mean the latest one as of today, because usually they start coming out with stuff today. But I would say, like, in terms of injuries, we had a depth to where I'm not even concerned. Like across the board. Like, so even like with Diggs, so like you even answered your own question. So Bland is not just a substitute, he's an amazing substitute.
He
And
is.
even better, and more importantly, he's already played good against Aiyuk. Bland. Like, so I was actually showing Wayne that today. Like, so Wayne made a comment that Aiyuk always gets off on us. So we was cool the whole show until I showed him the film. And I showed him where
You had it
Bland.
teed off. You had it teed off.
Oh man, I had it teed off, bro. And I had so much. I was so dirty. You know me, I'm dirty. So I said, hold on, what you mean? I always get off on us. And I showed where Bland on a post route, which we all know is one of the hardest cover because they running away from you. And Bland showed that closing speed, jumped over his head, and almost picked it off, you know. So I'm not worried about at all, even a loss of Diggs. The thing that I am slightly worried about, and this should be obvious, is left tackle. That's
Mhm.
because that limits our entire offense. It does. And that's why a lot of people haven't, in my opinion, even seen the best of us yet. Like, because we had to dial it down. Like Mike McCarthy said himself that he only had one drop back of a 7-step drop back, which, you know, as a West Coast guy, that means we did no long developing routes at all and no vertical shots at all. And that was because he was limiting his offense because of the left tackle. So it makes me kind of wonder, could we go into that game again with our hand tied behind our back? Because everybody talking about red zone, but they're not also talking about how we've been blowing our teams literally with one hand tied behind our back on our offense.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I hope that everybody's healthy. I'm a football fan, and I just want to see teams be at their best. And I do believe that the 49ers, I mean, I think it's a bad matchup for your Cowboys. I do, but I want to see everybody be healthy. Now, let's talk about
Yeah.
your offense a little bit, because coming in, the last conversation we had, we talked about the Texas Coast offense and what
Yeah.
y'all were going to bring to the table, and some of the changes that you liked for Dak Prescott and what have you. That being said, now you've seen it for 4 weeks. Do you still like what you are seeing from the offense? Did it transition from the offseason? Did all the talk transition? Kellen Moore's gone. I know that he was blamed a lot for some of those offensive woes. Do you feel like the offense is in a better place after 4 weeks with Kellen Moore gone and over with the Chargers? Or do you feel like we're kind of the same, or maybe a little bit worse? How are you feeling about that?
We absolutely better.
Okay.
We're like not even a little bit. We're a lot better. But see, but a
Okay.
lot of people miss it because they only kind of stat nerd analyze it. You got to
Yeah.
analyze it from the whole big picture of what's going on with our complementary style of football now. So what's been having y'all so dominant is that y'all offense always helped your defense. So for the last 2 years, you had a identity where, you know, and I know, and everybody and their mama knew that y'all was gonna commit to running the ball 30 times. It was gonna happen. It didn't matter if it was working or not. You was gonna continue to do it because that's one of your formulas to make sure that you keep your defense rested and to try to attempt to control the tempo. And you go also try to control the pace of the game. So we know that's what y'all been doing. It's been a formula. We now implementing that same formula. Now, what most people are getting caught up in, just they getting caught up in that red zone. And like anything, just like they did with Dak's interception, they're going to inflate it to a crisis when it's really just kind of normal hiccups as you're trying to get into midweek form, right? I mean, mid-season form. So if you add it all up, we lead the league still in 10 plus play drives, which is saying that we're controlling the games. Then also you look at the red zone attempts, we're number one in that. So it's not just we failing in the red zone, but it's the attempts to get there is more than anybody else in the league. So even though we're not even all the way clean, we're still getting there. So it says that our offense is just efficient. And so then we blowing out teams, and we're blowing out more teams than we ever done with Kellen Moore. So it's the complementary style that's really causing these blowouts. You can't have the defense scoring the way that they're doing unless they're rested. They coming out there and they able to pin back their ears. You getting that because we now have a play caller who actually runs an offense for the leader of our team, which is the defense. So I love it.
Yeah, I think that you're onto something here, and I agree with this big time. I feel like there's certain offenses that fit with certain defenses. I'll give you an example. If I have an offense that's a quick strike offense, puts up a lot of points, I don't need your traditional shutdown defense. What I do need is an opportunistic defense. I need a defense that's going to gamble, that's going to get some turnovers here or there and give my offense more chances. That's what I'm looking for. So like when I had, Kansas City, when Kansas City's making their run, they didn't have the best defense, but what they did have is an opportunistic defense. And it gave their offense enough chances to go win games and shootouts. When you have a defense that is dominant, like the 49ers have had, like Dallas is getting towards, you want a ball control offense. You want an offense that's just going to score enough points, not turn the ball over, and play complementary football to that defense. Yep. So I agree with that. What you guys were trying to do the last couple of years, or at least from the outside looking in, is you wanted kind of the opposites. You wanted the high flying, score a lot of points, score quickly, get off the field offense, but also the lockdown defense. And it's like those two things don't usually go together. You have to have one or the other, and then in reverse. So for me, I agree with that assessment. I haven't, seen it all. Listen, as far as what I've watched of Dallas, it's been very limited. And the one game that I watched happened to be the Arizona Cardinal game. So, we know what the way that game turned out. There's probably a lot of reasons that went into it. It didn't look good in that game. But, that doesn't tell the whole story of what we've seen so far with the Dallas Cowboys. But that's
it's part of the story.
That's what I've seen.
It is part of the story. It says something about us. It says that we had some maturity issues, that that it shows that we have talent, but we can fall asleep. So, and I think that used to happen to San Fran. I saw Wayne talking about that on one of his podcasts, is that usually y'all start slow. That's what he said. And I think you would agree with that. And he said a lot of times what would happen is, even with the talent, y'all would take teams for granted. And I think that's what we did with Arizona. It showed almost all across the board, especially on defense. But the main thing, especially talking about the offense and then thinking about the offensive changes in Dallas, the main way that I used to put it is I should say Kellen Moore was a single man. No, was calling plays like a single man, even though he was married. I used to always say that.
Okay, I like it.
Because you had to have the whole team in mind. So when you was talking about that fast-paced offense, and that's what used to throw people off, and used to hear pundits mock Mike McCarthy when he used to say, I'm not looking to be the number one offense. I just want to win games and run the damn ball. So they misunderstood what he was saying. He was saying, listen, my offense is going to be married to the defense. So I'm going to always have them in mind. I'm not going to be out at the club, to 3 a.m. No, I need to take my ass home. That's a metaphor to say I'm not going to be fast-paced, running a high-tempo offense and keep putting my defense back on the field over and over. Then their injuries piling up, the pass rush not as good because they're tired, and all this kind of stuff. It can't be this my side of the ball and then it's y'all. That's over with us now. And people, they not going to recognize it until we whoop y'all ass.
All right. Listen, it was all good up until that point.
No, you sneaked this us first, though, because you said, we got a good defense, but y'all on the way to it. I was like, Jesse, you snuck that in there. That was a smooth sneak. Yeah, so I had to sneak you back. I caught that.
I did.
Oh, yes, I did catch that, too. I'm like, wait, I'm not going to interrupt you, but I heard that sneak this on my squad. I ain't going to let that make it either. I got one in my back pocket.
I tried to slide that.
Yeah, you did, but no, I caught it quick, because first of all, I know our defense better than yours, too. See, it's so much about us that's already superior to you. So, so that offensive change, and you did, you laughing because you really did try to sneak that in there. You lucky I had my butts because
you're on to me. You're on to me. Yeah, I see it. Okay.
I'm quick with it, man. You ain't gonna get that past me.
Brother Bob says BSC ready for another L from them Niners. Be real, he says. You remember him last time. He's my resident ish talker. I love Brother Bob. Matt Matt Niner. That's what I call him. Matt Niner says losers. Loser has to have a this is good. Loser has to have a stream that solely focuses on how great the winning team was while wearing the winning team's gear. That's a good one.
That is a
good one. That is a
that would be easy for me because I like some things about San Fran. That'd be easy. I wouldn't even take no pride in doing that one.
Sudden Chaos says more like Texas toast offense. Pretty good. Okay. Ramping it up. That's good. That's good. Brother Bob says BSC is bullshit Cowboys. Ain't winning like usual. And then he says BCS is he got it. Yeah. We got you. All right. Listen. Dazza says, what's happening with Brandon Cooks? He was a consistent 1,000-yard receiver, and he's only got 66 yards this season. I know that he didn't play in all the games. I do know that. And the little bit that I've seen of him, he's been playing a lot around the line of scrimmage, which I don't know if that's to his strengths. What are they doing with Brandon Cooks? What are you seeing?
I think we hold him back, and I think it's smart. So let me ask you something, Dazzy, 0187. How much would you show if you was blowing our teams, knowing that San Fran is coming and other big games are coming? We got Philly coming. We got Kansas City coming. Why would we show our whole hand when we was already in control of games? So, like, it's a lot of people, because I've been hearing people say, Dak, he don't throw to the receivers and the receivers don't have touch. Just shut up, man. Like, if we blowing our teams, like, now, why would we show anything? And then also think about it like this, too. Why would you be throwing a ball around the yard when you know you have a left tackle that's out? And Chuma Edoga is your left tackle. So basically it shows you really how good we are, that we've been blowing our teams and we've been having 10-play drives and we handicap. So what's going on with Cooks? And it's a good question, by the way, too. What's going on with Cooks is he got a little bit banged up. But we have also been known to do some of the best load management jobs in the NFL. So we are load managing him. And I think y'all getting ready to see the kitchen sink, including Cook.
Did he play in that Cardinal game? Was he another guy that was missing? I know there's a game he sat out. I'm not tripping on that, right?
I think he did sit out, man. I don't
know if it was the Cardinal game, but I swear he did miss a game.
I think it was the Jets. I think it was the Jets.
Oh, you know what? It was the Jets game. I think you're right.
It was the Jets because I remember I was cool with how my other guys got off, and I knew they would too.
Yeah, it was the Jets because I remember I was going against Gallup that week in fantasy and thought, oh man, this is not good, but it was fine because Gallup didn't do anything. It was great. All right, brother Bob says BCS, you want sativa or indica now? You definitely high L on Sunday. Okay. Here's a question for you, and I think this one's an important question. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this, and you tell me if you agree.
All right.
So I think this win means so much more for the Dallas Cowboys than it does the 49ers for two reasons. One, right now, if we're fighting for number one seeds, the 49ers already have a 1-game lead. If they win, they essentially have a 3-game lead because Dallas would have 2 more losses and they would have to have the better record at the end of the season because they would not own the tiebreaker because of the head-to-head loss. So that's number one. Number one seed is very important to both these teams, I believe. They cannot afford to lose and be essentially 3 games behind. They're not going to catch up. The other reason is this. Everything that Dallas has done is geared towards getting over the hump with the San Francisco 49ers. Their season has ended 2 years in a row at the hands of the 49ers. If they lose this game after making some of the changes they made, and they lose to the 49ers again, I do not know how the Dallas Cowboys can have any sort of confidence on the road in the playoffs that they are all of a sudden going to pull the rabbit out of the hat and beat the San Francisco 49ers. So for those reasons, I think this game is much more important for Dallas than it is for San Francisco. It's important for both. I'm not going to downplay it for the 49ers. It's very important for the 49ers. But who is it more important for or who's it bigger for? I think it's the Dallas Cowboys. You agree or disagree?
Yeah. It's bigger for Dallas. It's bigger for Dallas because it'll be the mental hurdle, right? So I think all champions, which I believe we're going to be this year, I think we're going to be the Super Bowl champions. The reason why I believe that is because we're different from you, first of all. See, when
Oh,
you
that's
go through
true.
see, y'all, yeah, you ain't gonna agree when I explain it. So trust me, no. See, we're different from y'all because see, when we go through y'all, we win it all. When
Mm,
y'all go through us, you choke.
mm,
So this is a very important game because nobody's gonna act like we are now not in the arms race like we've been in the past. We've had some of the most legendary arms race in this rivalry. Haley to the Cowboys, arms race, right? Dion to San Francisco, arms race. Oh, that was classic. And then we took him from y'all, arms race. We're
mm.
right there again. And we're going to test each other's nuclear capabilities in that metaphor, right? So we want to really see where we stand. We want to say, did we get even closer? Because we're going to expect a battle, but we got to come out of this saying, you know what, we had them. We got to come out this game saying, you know what, even if we lose, we got to say we had that game though. We lost because of us. It can't be to where y'all just executed us and it was a clean beat down. It got to be something to where we come away from it either with a win or like that super, like, man, we right here, bro. So where we ready for round two, hopefully in the playoffs. So now I would say definitely though, if I'm being honest, and I'm always be honest, yeah, it's bigger for Dallas. It is.
Yeah, Val, listen, I agree from a fan standpoint and an ish talking standpoint. Like this game means the world for both fan bases.
Oh hell yeah.
But for the team,
The
which
team,
team needs it more? Dallas needs it
Dallas,
more.
Dallas, and then it's gonna also be, but then it also could work for us if we was to lose, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna overhype y'all and they're gonna like really make y'all the pinnacle of the whole NFL, and they gonna make us the stepchild. So really, it could almost be good for us if we lost, because it's gonna be some fuel the entire season to try to get back at y'all. You know, so what could actually hurt Dallas, and we already showed signs of this, is what? Early success. We blow our two teams, and what we do? Fall asleep on the weak ass Arizona Cardinals, right? So, like, winning could actually hurt us because our team has shown, at least going into Arizona, that they can fall asleep. And I don't never want them. I want them to stay hungry, and that's what's making you and Philly dangerous right now. To me, y'all are showing that y'all are developing a culture of how to win. And so when you develop that, that becomes hard to beat you in the playoffs. So nah, it definitely means more to Dallas, but either way, this is going to be looked at as a barometer game for both teams, and we're going to all lick our. Now, what I'm afraid of though, and I was thinking this today as I was driving. What I'm afraid of is this is going to have playoff kind of intensity, and it's only week 5. I literally was like, I'm gonna say a prayer this week for both sides of the ball, because them balls gonna be hitting this week. Like
Mhm.
this Sunday night is gonna be crazy, man. Like this, I can feel it. Like we can all feel it in the air. Like this ain't gonna be a normal game. Like this game is gonna be full of energy.
I actually like what you're saying there because that's the game within the game is
Yeah,
can both teams stay healthy? Because that is very important.
they
And
gonna
it
be
is
hitting.
should be a hard hitting game. And it's one of those games that you could see both teams potentially, if enough gets pulled out of them, both teams potentially losing the following week, depending on opponents and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think it's one of those types of games. Val, I don't know who you're talking to, brother, but I'm 40 years old. I lived through the 90s. I know all about that rivalry. Trust that.
Why do they do
But,
us like that?
but, yeah, but I will also say this. The new age rivalry with San Francisco and Dallas, like if you weren't around during that time, and Val, I'm pretty sure you were, the new age rivalry is not exactly the same because the way that I see it, like us old heads, we all know, we feel it. We get excited for Cowboy Week. If you're 20, 21 years old, you're not excited for this week for either
You don't
team.
get it.
You don't get it. And it's not a true rivalry until both teams win. Dallas needs to win to make this new age an actual rivalry. Until then, it's just
wait.
one team dominating the other. That's really what it is.
Oh, you so cold on that sneak dissing because that's not even true, big dog. Now y'all won the last 2 in the playoffs, but see, if we count regular season, we not gonna do that, big. See, what is sneak dissing? You so smooth with it too, man. Talk about the other team need to win. See, the real record of us is 19-19-1, dog.
Yep.
That's what makes it a rivalry. Is that it's so neck and neck. And I gotta sneak this Philly real quick. Let me shut this phone off real quick. Yeah, but damn, that's 2 phones. I'm sorry.
That sounds like the Niners scoreboard lighting up on Sunday.
Oh my Lord. Oh man, I done lost my thought. Just that quick. Just
19-1 in a rivalry.
Well, no, I have to sneak this because it's a lot of people that's trying to get in on this. It's like, nah, y'all can't get in on this. You had to earn this throughout history. So it's like teams like Philly that really, really want to be mentioned in this conversation. It's like, no, this conversation is for the legends. This rivalry conversation is for the teams that have built this over the years. I'm telling you, see, like they like to start their time clock at 2000. That's what all the Philly people like to do. Since 2000, now shut up, man. Like the NFL is like way bigger than that. And I don't even want to, and then they like to count their old rings when blacks couldn't even play football and it was leather helmets. So it's like, nah, we're not doing that. We count the Super Bowl era, and the rivalry is between San Fran and the Dallas Cowboys. You could throw Green Bay in that. I throw Green Bay in that just because of the massive history. I throw now New England that because they caught up with the rings, and then I add Pitt. It's not that many of us though. It's only a few of us that's sitting at the top. We're one of the few that can sit back and say this is a King's conversation that we're having right now. And you little peon teams, y'all not invited. Y'all got to watch on the sideline.
Yeah. I mean, you guys look at Philly the way that we look at the Rams. Really. I mean, it was like, okay, yeah, I get you one more recently. That's fantastic. But that does not mean anything.
Right.
Like, have y'all even found a city to reside in yet?
Ooh,
Talk to me then.
Yeah, but they really, that's the only thing they can stand on is the most recent. And when you hang your hat on that, man, that means you really have no history.
Yep, I agree. Brother Bob says, BCS, y'all control and blow out them cards. See you high. He's gonna come at you all day long.
That's fine, man. Listen, run up them super chat sneak this, and that's cool, bro. Like, do your thing.
All right. Hey, we got some coming in from the Cowboys side here in a second. We got Jesse Wade stopping and he says, nah, stop the ish. You said the Cowboys' weapons were better, no doubt. You said your young wide receivers were better, and you said Pollard was better than CMC. Oh, he remembers this last stream. I see where he's going. He's not forgetting. He remembers you, boss.
I stand on it. I stand on it 100% on everything that I said. I still know that CeeDee Lamb is better than Aiyuk right now.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. Don't give it everything away. We're gonna talk about just those things. Let's hold our horses.
All right,
we'll see. Yeah, he'll stand on it. I'm sure.
We're gonna thought I was gonna change on that.
Matt says the Cowboys are playing quick release and negate SF and Philly pass rush. You know what though? That's a good game plan though. I mean, that's smart. Yeah. That's smart. That's smart football. You know?
Yeah. We gotta respect y'all. Even though y'all sacks are down, y'all can turn up in a moment. So
Chris comes over from the Cowboys side. He said, would LVE fit the 49ers defense in your opinion?
Good question.
Would he fit the defense? I mean, yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I say so. Absolutely not.
No.
When I look at the way that your linebackers play and the way he plays, it's like night and day difference. So like the thing that LVE has is range. You can see the range. He does make it hard to pass, because of his length. But other than that, I would take y'all linebackers literally 1,000 times over LVE.
Oh, that wasn't the question though. That was not the question.
Would he help? And he wouldn't help. He wouldn't help LVE.
Hold on. I would not take him over our linebackers. That's not what I'm saying. But if we didn't have our linebackers and we just inserted him, like, do I think he could thrive in this defense? I think he could be fine. Yeah, why not? You don't think so?
Not at all.
He's a downgrade, but I think he'd still be
A
good.
big downgrade, like
For sure.
a
For
big.
sure.
It
But
also depends on
you
which
have a
LV
pass
show
rush,
up.
when you have a pass rush, when you have a pass rush like the 49ers that can get after you with 4, I think any linebacker can be kept clean and thrive in that type of defense. I really do.
And I like ideally you right. I'm thinking about what happened mentally to LVE. So to me, what happened mentally to LVE has never been a star that he was his rookie year, ever since his neck surgery. I think he's very conscious of it. I think it's in his subconscious though, because I see him pulling back. He doesn't really play like a traditional linebacker, and he doesn't play like he was in 2018. To a degree, I can't fault him because he had neck surgery,
Yeah.
But this is a physical game, and I'm basically trying to put that pressure on him to go back to the days of 2018. Now, I did review the film again today of how he played against y'all in the playoffs. It wasn't bad. And I can see where you would say, yeah, he would fit us because that's the last film you probably saw,
Yes.
And he was a little bit more downhill that game that he's been. The issue was, and I'm going to get to this when we talk about matchups, is Clark, in my opinion, was pushing him then. Because Clark had a similar surgery, but he was playing fearless. So when he had to come back for that playoffs, he had to play the same way. But now LV done got a little bag, and it looked like he's not as downhill as he even was last year.
I forget Buddy's name that was there before LVE, and they like if they had like a year or two together. Who was your guys' linebacker before him, the white dude that got hurt also?
Oh, Sean Lee.
Yeah, him and Sean Lee, like they have like the same career arc.
Yep.
Very similar, actually.
A little bit worse in terms of injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they had the same career arc, but Sean Lee was like literally the difference of our defense. That he was almost like what I would say Wagner is to you. Not Wagner,
Fred Warner.
Like what
Wagner was to Seattle though. Too.
Yeah, to where you could see a massive difference in the defense when he wasn't there. And LVE does not even diagnose even close to the level of Sean Lee. Sean Lee would meet you at the play every time. Like he was a student and a junkie of film like no other. He used to run the defensive meetings. He used to run it, run it. Like he's, so like on paper, career, yes. But in terms of impact and playmaking, I would take Sean Lee healthy when he could play 1,000 times over LV right now.
That's fair. I just look at them both having the injuries and having high upside and having some good years together, and then and it's unfortunate, very similar.
Yeah.
Jason says BCS has been crying seasonally. I like it. You guys are running with this whole thing. I like it. Thank you for being a member for 6 months, Jason. I appreciate you for that. This is the thing now. Everybody's saying it. BCS. Okay. All right. This is what they've done. They've all done it. Okay.
They doing acronyms.
Yeah. Go ahead. What you got?
No. I'm reading it. We say.
Okay. Daz says BCS. BSC rather. How important is it for Dak and his confidence to play well against the 49ers defense given the last 2 playoff exits? It's a good question.
Dak already has confidence. Dak already has been through the gauntlet like many times. Like this was gonna happen with Dak. Whatever hurdle he jump is gonna be a brand new hurdle put right in front of him. That's what happens. And it's because he plays for the Cowboys. We're a media magnet, so they're gonna continue to put standards on him that doesn't apply to other people. So his confidence already there. The only thing I don't want, and Wayne and I agreed on this too, I don't want him to get caught up in the talk that we need him to win this for us. No, we don't. We just need you to be clean and take your shots when they come. That's what I want Dak to do. I don't want Dak to be like, I need to thread this needle, or I need to win this. No, you don't. Like, it's enough around you. Put it like this. he should be an upgrade of Purdy, right? To where Purdy basically strikes you when it's there, but he's gonna more so take his outlets and he gonna just let it come to him. And he's very clean with the football and he's very efficient with the football. Hence, y'all winning. So I will want, and I've always said this, people on Cowboy Nation hate it when I say this, but the best Dak in the world is boring Dak. People hate it when I say that, but it's true. If you win 98% of your games when you have no turnovers, play like that. You know what I mean? Make that a part of your DNA. Now, a lot of fans want to see Fancy and they want to see him throwing it around and being risky. I'd rather him just be like, hey, man, if it's there, I take it. If it's not, I'm going to check it down. Like, because see, he's so good that when it's there, he go hit you. So, but in confidence, his confidence already there. He know who he is.
Okay. Even if they lose it, you think that confidence won't be shaken?
No, he been through the gauntlet. Like that's why I have major respect for Purdy. Because see, Purdy been through a perfectly similar gauntlet. That's like when you got Trey Lance behind you and you still play good, knowing this dude was a top 5 guy, that says a lot about your confidence. That means you know how to quiet the noise. You know how to get all the controversy. The fact that he already had Romo behind him and half our fan base was calling for that. And he still, like, he been through this confidence thing in 2016. So basically Dak is what he is. Dak is that quarterback that's going to easily win you every year 10 games. Is a lot of it going to be because of him. The only thing Dak needs to do, in my opinion, is just be clean, because the safest Dak is the one that wins. Like, manage these games. There's nothing wrong with game management and taking your strikes as they come. Just manage the game. Like, if it's not there, we'll get it back. We got a good defense. They go get it back. We go punt it and let's go. Like, you don't got to be risky. Like, all these people that really think it's up to a quarterback to do it all. Neither team need to rely on their quarterback. You shouldn't be relying on Purdy to pull it over the top. We shouldn't rely on the team's too good for that. Just do your job as a quarterback and be clean.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And Dak had the 1 year where he turned the ball over a lot. I think people gutted him for that. But when you really look at it, I mean, traditionally he has not turned over the football. You look at most of his career, he's protected the football very well. It was like a 15-game stint where it was like, what's happening here? This is not what we're used to. And then people lost their mind. So Daryl says, BCS, don't brag about teams y'all blown out. Y'all haven't played nobody. We coming, son. See y'all Sunday. I mean,
it's not bragging. It's just a reality, man. It's just, like, if we blew teams out. So I can't say that we've done what we've accomplished. Like, we've blown teams out, and that's hard to do in the NFL. Let's not take that light, bro. Because see, the average win in the NFL is only about 4 points. So for us to have 3 blowouts out of 4 games, nah, bro, that means you got a lot of talent on your team and it's coming together. We had a hiccup in there now, but no, I got a lot of reason to hell. I should, and I got a lot of reason to hold my head high on my squad and believe in them, bro, because they cold. Just like y'all cold, but we colder.
He said a winner's coming early. I see it. Okay. Keith says it is a must win for Dallas. They lose Sunday. They're 3 games behind, 2 in the loss column, and then the head-to-head. They said we're going to smack them. Or that said we're going to smack them. I'm curious when we get to these score predictions. We'll get there eventually. Y'all coming through with the super chats now. 808 Niner says, I respect the Cowgirls, D, but the problem is the problem that I got is their fans talk like they've won something. Like, I tell my dad to stop living in the past and talk to me when you win. Stop making excuses.
That's kind of weird to say that when actually the latest person to win the Super Bowl was us and not y'all. It's kind of weird to say that, you know what I'm saying? Now y'all been to more Super Bowls recently, but y'all ain't won. Because the ultimate thing is winning the Super Bowl. It's not about getting to the Super Bowl, bro. Because, like, the fuck. Excuse me, I didn't mean to curse. Like, it's about winning the thing, bro. Like, and that's the thing I respect about San Fran is that's the standard. That's the standard of both of our organizations. And I'm also upset at some of the new Cowboy fans because now they starting to talk a little bit different. You starting to hear them say, we need to at least get to the NFC Championship. Nigga, excuse what? What? Like, no, bro, that's not the standard. You got to win that thing. You got to win that whole thing, man. Like, that is the standard. Like, so no, y'all ain't won that.
I knew that he was teeing you up. I loved everything you were saying, 808 Niners, until you got to that. And I was like, oh, I know you're teeing him up and you don't realize it.
Yeah, he did. He teed it up easy.
However, I do agree that is one thing. And I can't knock the young 49er fans. Like they just know what they know. But a lot of it tends to be the younger Niner fans that are happy that we've made it to these 3 NFC championships and we made it to a Super Bowl. No. And it's hard to win a Super Bowl. Like we're always in the mix. We should be happy. No, we shouldn't be happy. We gotta win it. We have to
win it.
Yeah. You can't. No, I'm with you. Lisa comes over from your channel. She says, not sure if I will sleep on Sunday night, win or loss. Glad I am off on Monday. That's a really good feeling to be off on Monday, Lisa. Congratulations to you. You might need it. I would get a big pillow, a lot of tissues. You're probably going to need those too. Dazza says, number 1 NFC playoff position might be on the line.
Could be.
Yeah, it definitely could be. The early games matter. They all matter the same. They all count in the loss column the same. It's not like you get to the end of the season and say, well, this team lost 4 games, but they were early, so they don't count. Like this isn't like the old school like BCS where early games mattered less, and as long as you were hot towards the end, like you got points for that. That's not the way it works. All losses count the same, whether it was week 1 or week 18. It does not matter. So
right.
It's just the way it is. And Daryl says, BCS Cowgirls be killing me talking about those sorry-ass teams y'all blown out. Keep it real. You ain't played nobody until you play. And then I think he was going to say us, but he ran out of characters. So
that's vice versa too, man. Like, that's vice versa. Like, listen, this is no disrespect to San Fran. San Fran is going to be a measuring stick of are we as good as what we say we are. But the same thing with you guys. Like, it's been a lot of bragging at San Fran that our offense is different. It's something different about us. We're averaging 35 points. We are. It's just something in the air. It's like what's in the air is y'all haven't played us. That's what's in the air, is that you haven't played us. And vice versa. All these blowouts is like, it's cool, but now you got a big boy in town. So it's like, the same the same super chat that you threw out as a diss to us actually applies to you, you know? So, and it's just, I respect y'all, and some of y'all respect us, and it's gonna be a game we go all walk out and we gonna say, you know what? We know who we are right now, because we know both teams left it out there.
I feel like you've been watching my channel a little bit. I feel like that was a direct shot. Because that was kind of like me after like 3 years. I'm like, I don't know, something just feels different. I got a feeling about this.
Because I've been listening to y'all, man. Yeah, y'all been on that. It feels different. It's something different. Or it's the same play call. It's the same players. Listen, the only thing that's different is that y'all started the season with the glue to your whole damn team, and that's McCaffrey. Right, so McCaffrey's when y'all went on a run once y'all signed him. So that's the only thing different, and y'all feeding the hell out of McCaffrey. So it makes you feel like, oh, offense is just different. No, it's not. It's that you started the season with that dog in the backfield, and he is killing it. He killing it. Like what he did to the Cardinals. Oh, hey, and then what he doing to everybody. See, but the difference is this. We gonna stop that run.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I am. And you know it because we did it before. And Jet, let's be honest, because you know I can go pull the receipt. So be careful how you answer this. Who was more physical when we played? Our defense or your offense?
I'm just saying. Y'all kind of got out physical. Like it wasn't the loss to the Cardinals. Okay. It was not the loss to the Cardinals. Here's and this is 100% real spill. You can go pull the tape. I talked about this right after the game, or actually the lead up to the Cardinals game. I said the one thing that shocked me in that Cowboys game was not that they beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys were down some dogs. I see that. I recognize that. I understand that those players were very important. What actually shocked me was the physical look of the Cardinals versus the Cowboys. I was like, wow, they were a more physically imposing team from an eye test. That's shocked the hell out of me. I did not expect to see that when that game came up on my screen. And then I said, well, hold on. If they're more physically imposing, do I think that they're more physically imposing than the 49ers?
But see,
No
we played
way.
you, Jesse. See, y'all act like we haven't played y'all. Y'all kill me with
Yeah.
that, man. Y'all act like we have no history of busting y'all in the mouth. Do we need to go look at what happened? Because I was showing the film. See, I think that's what made Wayne mad, is I actually went to the film. I said, listen, man, let me pull up the film. I'm sick of this. And I showed the film, bro. We were way more physical. We were tossing y'all. We were bullying y'all. We were doing y'all dirty. The only people that don't say that is like the 4-letter networks. But people that's judging the film know we was way more physical than y'all. Yes, we was. Yes, we were.
Hold on first, 1 second.
Man, listen, McCaffrey didn't do anything. He was quiet. Your boy with the boombox, I forgot his name.
Debo,
big boombox guy. Man, that we folded him, and we have way more G's on our D than you have on your offense. The only people that really believe that y'all are more gangster on your offense than our defense is just people that be talking like just crazy. But if you look at who our dog, you telling me Donovan Wilson is not more of a dog than Debo? And you telling me Curse not? You telling me Micah not more of a dog? Like now Kittle, he's a quiet dog. Like he's a weird dog. Like he's a dog. He don't talk like a dog, but he play like a dog. Like he talk like a nerd, but when he play, he actually very physical. So
he's that way. He's the weird kid that like hits himself in the face when he gets mad. Like
he one of those. Yeah, he was. He's just that football player that you love, because this would be like, you gangster, but like you weird. Like, well, I would just be like, man, I like this dude. Like if I had a kiddo, I'd be like, a kiddo, all right. Where he just quirky, but when he get out there, he let it out. But anyway, now here's
what I honestly think happened. Here, this is where I think your thoughts are coming from. 2 years ago, we can both agree on this, and I know we can agree on this because we have agreed on this already. 2 years ago in the playoffs, the 49ers were clearly the more physical team. They brought a fight to the yes. Okay.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
So what I think happened is I think Dallas actually came in and matched the physicality of the 49ers, right? They elevated their level, right?
Yeah, they did.
So they matched it. And then when you couple that they got more physical than they were the year before, and then you see a highlight play of Mike McGlinchey getting rock bottom by by Parsons, that's what you remember. You remember him getting rock bottom, and you say, "Well, we got dogged the year before, but we didn't this year."
Balls around.
So we were more physical. I don't think you were more physical. I think you met the physicality.
Oh,
that's what I think happened.
No, we was more physical. We stopped your run. We stopped everything. What lost us that game was our offense. Everybody, because see, I remember
defense did the job. 19 points.
That's right.
They did their job.
Yes,
I agree.
Because see, I was telling Wayne this. I said, Wayne, y'all have too much talent on offense for anybody to say a goose egg is the standard. With a team as good as y'all, the standard would be hold them under 20. You know, if you hold that team under 20, your defense won. With that much talent, and with that type of play caller. So for the last 2 years, even with a nervous young team, the first time we played y'all, we still played okay on defense minus the discipline, you know. But year two, I would absolutely say, and I will go to the grave on this, we smacked y'all offense in the mouth, and the film said that. And it was like that from beginning to the end. Now, who let us down was that offense. Offense let us down greatly. Because we had y'all, man. We was deep in y'all red zone and threw an interception.
Yeah, you did. You had us till you didn't. That's a fact. I will.
Smooth.
I I don't know why I have this horrible habit, and I don't know why. I think I just did it, so I apologize. I call Micah Parsons Chandler Parsons all the time. I don't know why I do that. Remember, like Chandler Parsons, like the Hooper, the white like three that he played for Houston, got way overpaid. I don't know why. I always call Micah that. It's a Freudian slip. I don't get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
anyways,
Subconscious.
Brother Bob says BCS because Cowboys suck is why you shook and taking an L. See, they're playing with your name right now. Oh man,
They ain't gonna be
they are
playing with it
playing
after
with your name.
Sunday. They won't. They gonna be calling me Boss Cowboy Sports, sir.
I like it. Jerry says we're different because we play in championship games. Yeah, but we don't win the Super Bowl. We got to win a Super Bowl.
You got to win a Super Bowl.
Tommy says CD's nuts better than Aiyuk. All right, you know what? Listen, this is a good segue, Tommy. And we got way too many super chats. I love the super chats. We're going to get back to the super chats, but we got to get through these damn topics now. We're going to be here all night at this rate.
I love how y'all boys super chatting over there though. That's the sad friend. They showing love over
I'm
there.
just, yeah, I mean, the Cowboys should be over there super chatting too, but I don't think they're as confident in their team. But let's talk about some of these matchups, not matchups, but players that we can compare. And I think we got three of them. So we're going to go through Aiyuk versus CeeDee. We're going to go Bosa, Parsons, Purdy, Dak. Okay. So let's start with.
That's a good one. I like him.
Let's start with this one right here, which is, I mean, this is a great one. Aiyuk and CeeDee Lamb. I think career-wise, this isn't a question. So far, CeeDee has been the better player to this point. I don't think there's any doubt there. He just has. He's been more productive. He's been more consistent. He's been the number one option on his team. Aiyuk's really had to grow into that role, and I believe he's finally there where he's the number one receiving option. Finally, he's surpassed Debo and Kittle, and he's that guy now. Right now, in this moment, small sample size, 4 games in, Aiyuk is playing better football. He just is. Aiyuk has more yards right now than CeeDee. He has more touchdowns. He's played one less game and he has less catches. So even with one less game and less overall catches, he has more yards and touchdowns. Right now, he is playing the better football than CeeDee Lamb. Just the facts.
I wouldn't say facts. I would say he has better stats right now. And it makes sense. No, it makes sense too, because like again, it goes back to what I said. Why would we unleash CeeDee Lamb when we are already well in control of these games? Like our whole offense is gonna be limited based on just the way that we've been winning lately. It's just what it is. So it's one of those things to where it's almost like Gallup. Gallup, our first 2 games looked like he was non-existent. He exploded the last 2 games. It's because the weapons are there, but they put up into needed. And people got to keep in mind, and I also said this before, we missing our left tackle right now, which means we also put up the explosiveness on the offense. So you and I are the same. You follow the Niners year-round, training camp and all, step by step, day by day. Don't miss one day. We are brothers on that. Mm-hmm. We know in our training camp, one of the biggest highlights that we were seeing was the obvious vertical increase in our football. We are not seeing that right now. That does not mean it's there, though. It's there. It just, we put it up. Like basically, and I mean this, people think I'm hostile when I say this, but I'm dead serious. We have been blowing our teams with our hand behind our back. So when it comes down to Aiyuk and CeeDee Lamb, I would say, to be all the way honest, that's 1A, 1A. Like really. And Aiyuk right now is definitely getting him on the production. So right now, let's give Aiyuk the lead on this. Just for this year. Right now, that I'm gonna be fair and give him the lead because he does have the production. But in terms of playmaking, I honestly think you could swap them out and they would be around the same, to be honest. Because they are they almost games almost similar, And on some things, I like Aiyuk a little bit better because Aiyuk is kind of like that guy that's a receiver, but that could also be energized the whole offense. Just the way he plays. Like, and I'm being all the way honest. I'm not gonna be biased just because CeeDee Lamb plays for my team. Like for instance, one of the things that frustrated me is that CeeDee Lamb, he wanted a call on a pass interference, and the ball hit the defender right in the head. You know, it's like play through that. Like you got to at least try to go get that ball, then flop. Like right, you just like anybody that's playing basketball, you got to shoot it then flop. You don't just get fouled and start crying for the foul. No, you got to make a shot attempt and flop. Right, that's the whole point. And so on mentality, I like Aiyuk. But on playmaking, I would say they the same.
I think Aiyuk has that mentality. I mean, he
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
great blocking receiver. I know
yeah,
you've seen that. We've
yeah,
actually talked about that in the
yeah.
past.
Willing
He's
to
a
fight
hell of a
Warner.
route runner. Hell of a route runner. I think where CeeDee is a little bit better than Aiyuk is the 50-50 ball. Like if I'm just throwing it up and I need a 50-50 ball, I think CeeDee's a little bit better at that. Aiyuk has a hell of a catch radius and he gets very open because of his route running.
Yeah.
But if I need a 50-50 go route, like I think CeeDee is usually he's going to come down with a lot of those, and Aiyuk is,
I think
that's
Aiyuk
where he can improve.
I think CeeDee Lamb is a little bit better though in space. Like a guy you could put in the backfield and he could break a tackle, or like to where you just see just pure football. Like it's certain things you can't coach, and I think that's also where CeeDee Lamb has an edge. Is just give him the ball and he'll do something with it for real.
Well, that's fair. All right. We both taking our guys. I see it. What about Bosa versus Parsons?
Parsons.
How do you feel about that one?
Parsons. 100%. With ease. Yeah. With ease. Oh no, without a doubt. Like, and that's no insult to Bosa. Because Bosa that dude. Bosa is that dude. Bosa is, if I put it like this, if I wanted a guy that was go just play defensive end, I would want Bosa. But if I wanted a guy that was gonna cause maximum havoc, Parsons. A guy that I can move around and that's gonna find the weakest link on any offensive line and have the ability to abuse it, that's Parsons. And the upside of Parsons is just bigger than Bosa. Like Bosa is a technical genius, and he's from a bloodline of superior training, and you see it. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's a technician.
Oh, he's a technician. So that's what I'm saying. If you said who just a better pure defensive end, I'm going with Bosa. You know what I mean? But that's not the question. You saying who better, and who better for the team? That's Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is the glue to our defense. He is the entire, just what McCaffrey is to your offense is what Micah Parsons to our defense. Everybody get all these one-on-ones because of Micah Parsons. Everybody is able to get off because of Micah Parsons, right? His pressure rate is just through the roof right now. And you cannot find no film of anybody that closes as aggressive as he does, especially if he's shooting through that A gap. It's scary. Like, it's scary. Like, so, but it's no insult to Bosa, but in terms of overall impact, the dude that's more menacing and creates more havoc, it's not even no way a bias to my team. It's clearly Micah Parsons.
Is Micah doing now early on, before they found out he could just get after a quarterback? Early on, he was actually playing. He wasn't on the line. He was kind of all over the place. And then they're like, oh, wow, he's a really good pass rusher. They figured that out his rookie year. And it seems like the last couple of years, it's like more and more he's just turning into that, hand in the dirt type of thing. He's a pure defensive lineman. Is that true? Is that still true with him? What's going on with him this year?
This year they went back to using him as a chess piece, and I've always called him a queen on the chessboard. You play chess?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So you know how the queen is. They can attack from multiple positions.
Yep.
They was using him like that early, and when they was using him like that early in 2022, we was on pace to break the sack record, right? Because it was just so much chaos. So it was a bunch of talk of Why are they moving him around? Why are they moving him around? They need to just keep him at defensive end where he can just do his most damage. Well, Quinn tried that. He gave us 5 games of that. And what ended up really happening is Micah Parsons became more one-dimensional, and it showed a flaw in his game, which was definitely his hand fighting. So superior tackles will sometimes limit his greatness because he's not the technician yet that Bosa is. So we reversed it. Now he's an off-ball linebacker that can pressure, right? So that allows him to move around, and that restored us back to this menacing defense that we saw early in 2022. So the times that you're talking about where you saw him with his hand in the ground was like the last 5 games. And Quinn literally said he was experimenting with that because he had to come out because we lost to Remember the Commanders. It was a major panic in Dallas. It was, oh my God, like everybody, we getting ready to lose to Tampa. It was just crazy. But then, so he came out, he was like, listen, let me tell y'all, we've been experimenting with corner 2 because people don't remember we was doing a whole bunch of rotating that corner.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. So that told everybody, basically, we treated our last couple of games as if it was prep for the playoffs, you know? So one of those experiments was, let's see what Micah does if we do keep him. And then the worst thing about keeping him at defensive ends, teams was able to tee off on him. So like the strategy that I said, even when we played Bosa, not Nick, Joey, we played Joey with the Chargers. What you do with superior people like Bosa, sometimes you got to run right at them. You got to wear them down. So you got to take their legs from them, right? That's what they began to do to Micah Parsons. They used to, and then, you know, he started getting banged up. He not banged up as much anymore because why? We moving him around. It's keeping him safe. It's hard to combo him. So the best way they're using Micah is the current way they're using Micah. And they basically need to use Micah like this until he loses his speed. So I think we're going to see about 4 or 5 years of this same type of tenacity and freak show that we're seeing in Micah Parsons right now.
Okay. Listen, I'm riding with Bosa. He's a DPOY. I love Parsons, by the way. I think he's a hell of a football player.
Yeah.
And he is. He's very versatile. He's just an overall athlete. Like,
yeah, he raw.
If he would have grown up as an offensive player, he would have found out a way to make the NFL. Like, he's that type of guy. From an athletic standpoint, I don't know many people that have that level of athleticism and versatility that Parsons does. And so I understand where you're coming from on that. But Bosa has mastered getting after the quarterback. And one thing about Bosa that he doesn't get enough credit for, in my opinion, is his run defense. Yeah. I think he's a hell of a run defender. I think he is one of those guys that if you're like, hey, my game plan is to run at him and take his legs from him, you're not going to be running for very long because he will make you, he'll just turn, he'll be like, all right, cool. You're not going to run the ball when you run at me. And so you're going to end up in these pass situations anyways, right where I want to. So I think that's where he's different than a lot of pure pass rushers where he's not a one-trick pony. He's not
at all.
He's not a Hassan Reddick, right? Where Hassan Reddick's great at getting after the quarterback and pinning his ears back, but if you run a Hassan Reddick, you can kind of body blow him to death a little bit. You can't really do that with Bosa.
I agree.
Right now, Bosa is that deal. DPOY, I gotta go Bosa. But man,
he's the current DPOY, but the future DPOY is clearly trending towards Micah Parsons. He could be the DPOY this year.
We'll see. Then we got a conversation, and then y'all got to pay him. That's he's gonna break the Bosa contract. So have fun with that one.
He is. He should too because he's better.
He's just next in line. All right. Purdy versus
that
Dak.
hurt. I can tell that hurt. That hurt.
Purdy versus Dak.
Right,
I think this is becoming a conversation a little bit here, boss. I think that Dak certainly has proven it for longer, right? You can only play the games that you can play. And Purdy has not been in the league as long. Dak, very similar, these guys, in the sense that Dak started off very, very hot in his career. And then he had kind of like a little bit of this, and then now, back up, a little bit of inconsistencies. And maybe Purdy eventually goes through some of those inconsistencies as well. But right now, Purdy is playing about as flawless as you can. He has 1 turnover on the season. It was a fumble, no interceptions. He's throwing for more yards than I think most people expected him. He's already eclipsed 1,000 in 4 games. Completion percentage through the roof. And he's doing what you're saying Dak should do. And when Dak does do, you guys win, which is just strictly managing the game to an elite level. You don't turn the ball over. You keep the offense on the field. You win on third downs. You stay ahead of the chains. That's what a Purdy-led offense has been able to do. Yes, he has great weapons around him, phenomenal weapons, but that can't take away from what he has done, which is played very, very good football up to this point. I hesitate to say that I would take Purdy for sure over Dak because it's a smaller sample size. But one thing that I will say is, and I feel confident in this, in this moment, feel more confident that Purdy will show up in a big moment than I do with Dak.
I guess you got to define big moment, right? Because see, like the same dilemma that some people have been saying, like, you know, what's gonna happen to Dak's psyche if he loses to San Fran? Well, how many times did we lose to Brady?
Good point. That stat was out there.
That was out there, and it was worse than San Fran. We didn't win against Brady. We lost consistently against Brady. Was that not a big moment?
That was a big moment.
That was a big moment. Okay, so in that big moment, in playoff week 1, the person who had the best efficiency and Purdy too was playing was Dak. In that big moment, nobody had a better passing rate, and nobody but Dak in that big moment. So I'm not gonna fight you though, because if you have faith in Purdy in big moments, he gave you reason to. Because like I said, it's very hard to play with the pressure he was under. People act like it's a big deal to go from Mr. Irrelevant to the quarterback of a historic franchise like the Niners with a top 5 guy breathing down your neck. That is not easy, bro. Like that same mental pressure broke down Montana and Steve Young. I know y'all history on that. When they had the quarterback controversy between them 2 great Hall of Famers, neither one of them played well. What does that tell you about the psyche of Purdy and the psyche of Dak to play well despite QB controversy? You know, so I feel like, to be all the way honest, both quarterbacks have what it takes. I'm going to put on the table right now and say I've seen enough in Purdy to declare him a top franchise quarterback. I'm not saying he the best, but when I say franchise, I'm saying I'm stamping him as somebody that I would say is enough to win it all. And then I'm putting that same stamp right besides Dak, and I'm saying y'all got to battle it out. But like in terms of those two, if you already, because see, the last time we talked, you had Dak above him, but you now putting Purdy above him. I'm not mad at that because I feel like Purdy is growing. I've also just broke down his games, and I see the growth. I see the confidence. He's still managing games on an elite level. But I would say this as a warning. I don't think he's definitely been through the testing of Dak at all. See, because Dak and Purdy never had his weapons taken. Dak has multiple times. We tried receiver by committee on him twice. And even last year, people discount the fact that outside of CeeDee Lamb, he had literally the worst separation out of all receivers in the entire NFL, but still led the Dallas Cowboys to the #1 offense when he came back from injury. So Purdy hasn't been through any tests like that. Everything has always been, for the most part, perfectly situated for him. So what would happen if Aiyuk goes down? What would happen if Debo goes down and Kittle? What would happen to him? Like, what would happen if he lose Christian McCaffrey? And now you got to go run this offense. See, we don't know that Purdy yet. We just know Purdy basically sitting in roses and everything smelling good and fresh off the bat. What's going to happen when it get real muddy in life for you, son? We haven't seen that yet. So because he's untested, I'm not yet going to even put him on the level of Dak. But I will say that he's trending in the right direction. And if anybody say opposite, you hate him.
Well, I'll say this: very short stints, and his career is a short stint. But he has played a game without Aiyuk. They still put up 30. They still won. That was this year. Yeah, Aiyuk missed. Not against a great team. It was the Giants, right? So I get it, but he still did his thing. Whatever. But he did struggle early in that game. It took him a little bit to get going. Once he got going, he was on point. He has played a few games without Debo. Last year, actually, in the Miami game was his first game. Debo actually was out for a few weeks after that, and then he did his thing. CMC is the catalyst.
Yeah,
like that's the one. CMC. So I get that, and that's why I said I hesitate to say that Purdy, like just overall, it's hard for me to take Purdy and say, hey, your 12 games overrides 7 great seasons from this quarterback or 7 good seasons from this quarterback. Even a guy like Kirk Cousins, a lot of people crap on Kirk Cousins. Like he's put together 8 pretty damn good seasons. You actually watch him play. You look at some of those numbers. He's put together some good seasons, right? So it's hard for me to say that less than 1 season overrides all of that. So what the way I've been trying to talk about Purdy, because I don't know what the future holds. I'm trying to live in the moment with Brock Purdy, and I'm trying to almost go week to week with him. What does the power rankings look like? And right now in a power ranking situation, because the career is so short, that's the only way that I can really view this thing fairly, I believe. And in a power ranking situation, he is playing as good as anybody in this moment. As good as anybody, So that's the way that I have to play it with Purdy. So in this moment right now, there's not many guys that you can say you would take over him in this moment with this team, the way everything's going. If I'm starting a franchise and knowing that I've seen some of these other quarterbacks go through not having their weapons, not having this, all the questions being answered, that changes things a little bit. But in this moment with this team, versus Dak and what he's got around him and all the things going into this, I have to go with Purdy right now. I just do.
I'm not mad at you. I mean, see, because some people like I said like this, Purdy is the ideal fit for San Fran. Ideal fit. Like, so you have to go with Purdy because see, sometimes it's not about which one is the better quarterback, which one is the better fit for your team. I wouldn't take Purdy in Dallas. Hell no. I'm not taking Purdy and putting him in this toxic ass environment where every time he play good, they nitpicking everything about him. It will probably break him. You know who I'm taking in our environment? The guy who got the mental toughness and been tested in that environment. Dak. You see what I'm saying? Because he fit my team. Because he's already been tested with all the mental crap. And he's the only quarterback that's going to have a season of interceptions. And it's talked about the entire offseason. The entire offseason, every day, bro. So it's one of those things to where like Purdy, I can see where you could say, and I would probably agree with that. Purdy probably fits San Fran better than Dak would fit San Fran. But Purdy wouldn't fit Dallas like Dak fit Dallas. So you going with Purdy, I'm cool with that. And and I'm going with Dak all day for my team. And I said this a lot of times. It's probably maybe one quarterback that I will maybe take over Dak in Dallas. Because a lot of people like to praise Mahomes. They love to praise Mahomes. But literally, there is no quarterback that was literally put in the best situation. He was put in literally the best situation of all time. The best play caller. At the time, he had the fastest receiver. At the time, he had the best tight end. And he was able to sit and learn that offense slow. Versus Purdy was thrown out there. Dak was thrown out there. You know what I mean? And they had to just be kind of phenoms, natural G's, and learn on a dime. So the road to being franchise quarterbacks was a lot harder than Mahomes, So I always wonder, what would Mahomes be if he was in an environment to where he was just thrown out there? Or if he was in an environment where they said, hey, Amari Cooper, your best receiver, we go just take him. And we gonna give you a committee of guys. Let's see how that work. With Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan as he wouldn't be the Mahomes he is right now. So no, but to sum it up, yeah, I can see why you logically say Purdy fit your team better than Dak.
Okay, let's get through these super chats because we are way backed up. Keith Murphy says, let me ask boss, why does Shanahan call a more aggressive game with a second-year quarterback than McCarthy does an 8-year veteran? That's suspect on Dak. Interesting question.
A more aggressive game. It's not. Like, listen, man. It's only Dak get this type of stuff, like to where everything is always pointed to some kind of controversy that's not there. Like, oh, does Mike McCarthy trust Dak? Because I heard even the Dallas Cowboy media pulling out stuff. Local media was saying stuff like Dak has the lowest air yards out of anybody in the NFL. Does Mike McCarthy not trust him? Now, actually, we got 3 offensive linemen that was out. We limited the offense and we had blowout wins. So why we gonna be throwing it around the yard? Like, so, and then, like, think about it. Oh, y'all should know better than anybody, Keith. It was your coach that lost the Super Bowl with Atlanta for Dan Quinn because he kept throwing it around the yard like a goofy. So when you got a game in hand, like 28-3, oh, do you remember when Atlanta had that game in hand versus the Patriots? And what did they do? They kept their foot on the gas, allowed New England to come back, didn't it? So, like, throwing it around the yard is not a sign of success all the time or intelligence. Sometimes it's a sign that you dumb. And Shanahan had to learn the hard way through a loss in the Super Bowl that sometimes running the ball is the best thing to win a game. And so he learned, because he was a throw it around the yard at Atlanta. He's a run the ball guy now. So, I think some of these play callers learned from the skins that they developed over the while. So now it has nothing to do with faith in Dak. Dak runs this offense.
It's fair. Coco Puff says, I hate Green Bay and Favre way more than the Cowboys. Well, those years were rough when they were knocking those MVP years of Brett Favre, when they were knocking the 49ers out of the playoffs 3 straight years, and then finally the 49ers got over with the catch-2 TO over the middle. I remember that. I remember those years. Those were very, very tough to watch.
I like that. I like that he went to history like that. That's a real Niner right there.
Yeah. Juan Torres says, yo, Jesse, going to my first 49er game at Levi's Stadium this weekend. Nice. Did you tailgate at all when you went flying out from Washington State? Yes, definitely tailgated. Niners. But I've only been to road games. I'm going to my first home game when they play Tampa right before Thanksgiving during that week there. So I've never been to Levi to watch a game. I've only been there for training camp. I'm sure the tailgating is awesome. The road tailgating is great, though, because they do the march to the stadium as a whole crew. They march through the streets, stop traffic, march to the stadium. It's a lot of fun, but I'm sure it's fun there at Levi as well. Matt says, oh, damn, Jesse, didn't know we got Il Manning back. Yeah, he was released. I didn't know he came back either. Didn't even see that. Keith says, I'm looking forward to smoking on that Dallas pack again. Brother Bob says, Dak will be Dak. Translation, Dak will cost him an L.
All right.
He said, all right. He says, why did Dak struggle against Arizona when Purdy balled out against him? Back to the offensive line, I think. I mean, I'm gonna stand up for Dak a little bit on that one. Again, when you're missing, imagine this, 49er fans. It was their 3 best offensive linemen, too. It wasn't just like 3 offensive linemen. It was their 3 best.
Right.
So we have a clear 3 best to our offensive line right now. It's from the middle to the left.
Yep.
Imagine all 3 of those players are gone against Arizona, and they're playing backups.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe that game would have gone a little bit different than it did?
Absolutely.
I think it could have.
There's no excuse, but it's just true.
It was the fact. It's what happened.
Yeah.
Frank Tomo, see, and that's the funny thing is it's funny because this is how you know casual talk happens, and not you, Keith, but from the national media.
Yeah.
The whole talk was anybody who made an excuse for Dallas and why they lost to Arizona was like, well, I mean, it was emotional. They lost Diggs on Thursday. What were they going to do? It's like, yeah, okay. But that's not why they lost that game.
Right.
It wasn't because Diggs was out. And yes, that was a big blow, especially during a practice. I get all of that. it was because they were missing all like their 3 best offensive linemen. That's huge.
That's
That's huge for any team.
Any team.
I mean, we saw what Mahomes happened to Mahomes when he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Without his.
Sure did.
It was a disaster.
Running for his life. It's a fact.
Yeah. Frank Tom Ocean says, as always, Jesse, thank you both for the collab. There we go, man. There's some love.
Appreciate that, man.
Keith comes back and says, and I like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, Jesse. Like and subscribe to your channel. You got one? I'll be there, bro. That's easy. Easy peasy, man. You always support me. I can do that back.
Super chat came in.
Okay. Oh, Cowboys fan coming through. Cole's Cowboys says winning the Super Bowl is both the Cowboys and the 49ers standard. Nothing else.
That's right.
Making it to the dance and bragging about losing to the Eagles. Shit. Yeah. Here's what I'll say about that. Last year was a little bit different because the way they lost. That was a whole different.
Yeah.
Most 49er fans, and I think the players just don't feel like it was a real loss because of the way that it went down, losing Purdy as quickly as they did.
Yeah.
I tend to think that the unpopular opinion, but as a 49er fan, I really think that the 49ers probably would have lost that game anyways. I think the trenches were a lot for the Eagles. The Eagles were just dominating the 49ers early on in the trenches on both sides. And I didn't like the way that game was trending. Now, I do think that they could have turned it around and won the game. I'm not saying that the Eagles for sure would have won. I'll say this. I don't think it was a slam dunk that the 49ers would have won that game, the way that a lot of 49er fans believe that it is.
I respect that, Jesse. I respect that greatly. So you can trust somebody like Jesse. When they do stuff like that, see, you can trust people like that because that means they're not kissing your ass. He got a lot of people watching him from Niner Land that would love to hear him just give all this unmeasured Kool-Aid. That was the perfect example of measured Kool-Aid that I've ever seen in my life outside myself.
I appreciate that, boss. He says, it's not a rivalry till the other team wins. If we win Sunday, it's still not a rivalry as far as the new era. I made that point, Keith. I'm with you. I agree.
That's not even true, man. We've been winning more than y'all, man. Oh, my God. The wee-woo is crazy.
Just saying. Josh says CMC was great last season because he's CMC, but go watch the games. He wasn't running the same. In his words, this offseason, he learned the offense, and now he running. You meant he running. I agree. Also, CMC last year, he looked a little slower. I think he was playing with some sort of injury. I don't know what that injury was. He looks more explosive this year than he did last year. I will say that as well.
I will agree too.
More explosive.
I will agree. I see that old CMC this year when I'm watching the film. I said, ooh.
Yeah, he looks different. 808 Niner says, okay, you guys won the most recent Super Bowl 27 years ago, but the way Cowboy fans talk like they've made the Super Bowl the last 5 years, your team is stacked, but what's the excuse going to be if you don't make it to a Super Bowl again? I think this is a real one. He came in harsh, but I mean,
question. Well, let's talk about it.
You got to stop, right?
No, it's not really excuses. I just think it's a kind of time to where you got to go through a certain team to kind of get to the ultimate destination. So it's been times in history to where when Detroit was looking up, the person that was standing in their way was who? Boston and Bird, right? They end up overcoming them and they end up becoming 2-time champions. So then when they was the Bulls had to go through Detroit. So right now, that's who y'all are to us. We got to go through y'all. That is just what it is. It repeats itself in history. And if you really look at history with each other, it's that arms race. It really is. It's an arms race to get over the hump. But I got to give y'all the edge. I got to give y'all the edge on culture. I think that's one of the main big differences y'all been having over us.
I didn't have this on the docket, but out of your coaches, McCarthy and Quinn, who's the better coach? Not head coach, right? We've seen them both as a head coach, but just overall, who do you think is the better coach out of those two?
Oh, good question. Right now, as in terms of in their specific roles, Dan Quinn.
Okay.
Dan Quinn. The best head coach for the Dallas Cowboys by far is Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
Because the political wisdom that he had to use to get Kellen Moore out of here, I don't think Dan Quinn had that political savviness. So like the master chess job that he did, allowing Kellen Moore to fall on his sword, publicly, knowing when to come out and throw Kellen under the bus and keep that team intact. Just the way that he maneuvered the politics within Dallas, Mike McCarthy is chef kiss perfect head coach for Dallas. But in terms of play calling, right now, Mike McCarthy a little bit rusty. And Dan Quinn is in his bag.
Okay. All right. I like that. Daryl says BCS or BCS. I thought about that when we played y'all Sunday. Yes, we got to play y'all too. We're just better and going to send you back to Texas crying.
You're not better.
Galiki says measuring stick for both
True.
teams. Just praying CMC and Purdy make it out of this game alive. Niners are always out physical the boys. That said, 31-21 San Francisco. Health is the biggest thing for me that I want to see come out of this game. I want to see both teams come out of this healthy. That's what I would prefer to see. What?
I'm reading that.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Cole's Cowboy says 49ers injury report was longer than a CBS receipt after our playoff game.
I'm fearing that for this game. I really do, man. I really do. Let's if we don't agree on anything, we gonna join hands and pray that both teams come out.
Yeah.
Because this is gonna be crazy, man. These boys gonna be banging today. Sunday.
Ryan Mack says Cowboys lost to the NFC West bottom feeders. Now y'all know your place, cowgirls. Okay. Again, this is and this happens a lot in fighting, but you have three fighters, whether it's boxing, MMA, right? Three of them that are at the top of the division. And what happens a lot is like one guy fights the other guy, like number 2 fights 3 and beats him. And number 1 loses to 3, and so everybody goes, "Oh, well, 2 will beat 1 because he beat 3 and he lost to 3." It's like, no, not necessarily. Like, what's the matchup? What's the matchup? Right?
Man, we're perfect.
And I think that's what's happening with the 49ers is 49er fans are looking at it and saying, "Well, they lost to the Cardinals. We beat the Cardinals. Like, we're gonna beat the Cowboys." Yeah, I think we're gonna beat the Cowboys too, but that's not
don't work
why
like that. Right,
I don't
exactly.
think it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
It don't work that way.
Jamaica Boy says, we have played America's team and dropped them off at the bus station. Go to the film. Ain't nobody messing with Debo. Took y'all lunch money. Delusional. Josh Allen says, remember when Debo stiff-armed Parsons into his back? Epic. That was 2 years ago. We were talking about that. Yeah, definitely. The 49ers were clearly the more physical team 2 years ago.
Yeah, playoff game 1, yes, they was. Playoff game 2, no, they was not.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one now.
Yeah, go watch it. You go, yeah, man. Listen, and it's from I watched it again today twice because I was preparing, because I was expecting a battle. You know what I mean? Because I was like, man, this dude coming in my house, I'm gonna be ready. Oh my God, I was looking at that film. I said, man, I forgot how much we slap y'all.
And then lost. Jerry says, blah, blah, blah. Y'all won the Super Bowl last, but Purdy has almost the same amount of playoff games played than the Cowboys since y'all won. Bang, bang.
Let's not do that, brother. See, that's a young fan. I could tell a young fan.
Yeah, most likely.
Because young fans count playoff wins. We won the most playoff wins. Listen, like me and Jesse, we only care about one thing. Who won it all?
808 Niner says, laugh out loud. See, this is what I'm talking about. We're more physical. Who cares? You didn't win, but I guess that's why the Cowboys fans love them moral victories. Truth Only says, nah, we're the real ones over here.
That's what I'm talking about. What's up, man? Big, and threw out some big bread.
What's funny? What's funny is we're way behind, right?
Yeah.
This is from 1108. What I'm starting to see is when I said that, now we got people coming in. There are a couple of them from the Cowboys coming up, so we're gonna see them.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ryan Mack says, who did the Cowboys beat? A ranked 32 Giants, a ranked 30 Patriots, and a ranked 28 Jets. 3 worst offensive teams in points per game. That's true. That is true.
NFL,
you can only beat who's in front of you.
Right.
Special K says 35-10 Cowboys smoking on the Niner pack Sunday night. Whoa. What?
I feel that. I'm thinking more like 24-14.
You don't feel that. You don't feel 35-10. Stop
No,
it.
I do. I think because y'all cocky, man. Y'all cocky, man. Y'all see y'all making the same mistake we made walking into Arizona. Y'all smelling y'all shit. Y'all smelling y'all think y'all done whooped us twice. Y'all think it's gonna be automatic this time. It's at y'all house. Yeah. Y'all finna walk into a buzzsaw.
You know what I don't like? Here's what I don't like, boss. I don't like that everybody in that Cowboys organization right now is praising the shit out of the 49. I mean, my gosh, the love, and you know what it is. You know what they're doing. It's like, oh, let's butter them up. And then so they think they're great, and then we're going to come in and smack them. Yep. You got, I see the trick that's trying to be played from the Dallas Cowboys, and I read right through it.
There you go.
They don't. I
we
don't
like you. Yeah, we don't like y'all like that. It's a
y'all
game.
Playing a game.
See, that mean that we putting everything into it. Like when it's perfect point. When you playing that type of psychological warfare, yeah, we dead serious. To my boy Special K, I want her. You know what I'm talking about.
you know, okay, and I'll say this too. I think
go get her.
I think this is I don't like what they're doing, but I also think it might be a little bit of a desperation play because the last 2 years, what did y'all do? What did Parsons do? Oh, we the bullies. I'm from here and da-da-da-da-da. And now he's on his little podcast and he's like, oh, I mean, Brock Purdy's a top 10 quarterback in the league and he's so great in the 49ers. And if I want to get paid, I got to be as good as Bosa. I'm not as good as Bosa and Brock Purdy. I don't believe it for a second. I don't believe none of what he's saying for a second. He's
playing the politics perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree with you.
Randall says, saving CeeDee in the Cards game, huh? Saving them special plays and players for the good teams, huh?
Yeah, as y'all doing as well. Because, because a lot of Niners will say that y'all been holding back too. Like, y'all haven't showed all y'all cards. No. I don't believe it.
No,
I don't believe it. To me, because when I watched your game versus the Cardinals, it was pretty vanilla. It was very vanilla. And that's the type of games you got to play now with a schedule like I have and what y'all have. Y'all got some big games coming up too. You will be an absolute fool to throw out all of your weapons and bullets on teams that you already know that you had this game fully in control.
Yeah, I agree with that. Keith Murphy says, Jesse, I love Bosa, but I think Micah different.
Keeping it real.
I like it. I like when people
appreciate that, Keith. Yeah, that's just real. He is.
Jesse says Parsons is the only weapon that y'all have an argument for. Every single other weapon, we are absolutely better, without a doubt. Wide receiver core, running back, QB, overall D. That's how I imagine him saying it. But much,
I like
pounding the desk type thing.
Because he put a lot into this, like checks and everything. He went crazy.
Yeah.
Overall D stop. Weapons, definitely Dallas. Running back, I gotta go with CMC over Pollard right now. Even though I said before the season that I would
thank you. Oh my God. I was gonna say, if you come on here again and say, I can't believe it. I can't believe you. Okay. All right.
No, I'm always honest, man. I'm just always honest. It's just right now how CMC is playing is more complete than Tony Pollard. I think he's also being used smarter, way smarter. Y'all are giving CMC way more outlet passes. That's why his break tackle rate is much higher than Pollard right now. Versus we just using Pollard as RB1 in between the tackles a lot, and we still have yet to really use him as an outlet and put him in space like y'all doing with CMC. So I think but CMC has the production, so I'm gonna go with the production.
Randall says, BCS, since you say the Cowboys have better weapons, both on defense and offense, can you explain why your team is such a crap record in the playoffs?
Well, see, it depends on what era you judging. So if you judging from 27 years, it's crap. If you judging from Will McClay's era, which started in 2014, we're on an amazing and an awesome quality trajectory. So the trajectory that we on is we're a team that's a multiple crack at it team. That's what we have become. We'll get multiple cracks at it now. And we're the team that's steadily getting better and better as we build especially the personnel. Nobody can deny depth, and one of the biggest Achilles heels is gone. Like the last 2 years, the number one corporate, in my opinion, of the reasons why we couldn't get through big games like San Fran is because our offensive coordinator at the time had a system-based offense called the no identity offense. Shout out to my boy Jay Tuck. But the no identity offense, and this offense didn't rely on stars. It relied on being in the right place at the right time. It was a timing-based offense. So in these type of games, it can't be, in my opinion, the offensive coordinator's brain versus the D coordinators. It got to be the playmaker versus the playmaker. So now the game is changed. Now what y'all getting ready to walk into is you walk into a play caller who's going to identify the weakest link and he's going to consistently attack it. All you got to do is go look at what happened with New England, which never happened under Kellen Moore. Literally, the moment Gonzalez went down in the top corner, what did we do? Literally the next play, we routed him up for 6 for a touchdown with CeeDee Lamb, that backup corner. So it's going to be a couple of plays like that that's going to put us over the edge. And we need plays like that to where we attack the matchup and not system-based chess like we was doing last year. So that's why I'm betting that move with Mike McCarthy being a play caller as well as him shaking off rust is going to be the reason we edge out this time.
You're talking about the play down the left sideline for a touchdown last week?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And that was the play right after Gonzalez went out.
For other old heads and anybody that knows their history, I got to show the shirt off because it's kind of hidden behind the mic here. But it's the White Men Can't Jump shirt.
Oh, yeah, it's a dope shirt.
But it's got Debo and CMC's faces on it instead. So just want to make sure that we take time to appreciate the shirt because I forgot I was wearing it. And I just looked in the camera and was like, oh, yeah, I should probably explain what's going on over here.
That's all your merch? Is that your merch?
No, it's not my merch. I'd give him a shout out, but this guy been bugging, been trying to get a little sponsorship from him. So I'm not even going to say who it's from. Sorry. You don't get no play unless you pay.
Love it.
Steve M says, tell me why Alice's secondary can't tackle.
That's not true.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
not
know.
True. See, I know Steve. Steve be make shit up. He did it last time. He gonna give me a couple of he can give you a couple more super chats on this made up stuff.
Steve M says pick 6 got good for 2 turnovers this game.
See. He got some more in there. He always does this.
Keith says, Jesse, don't take up for him. I want an answer. But since you called for him, now this right here, this Keith, this one, I'm gonna sit back and let him answer this one. Then why did y'all give up 200 yards rushing? Now that is a very valid question, and I want to know the answer to that.
It was discipline. It wasn't like I didn't see the physicality difference in Arizona. I saw massive discipline issues. And I did a film breakdown on why we couldn't stop the run. Because if you look at a lot of those big runs, man, a lot of them guys was untouched to the 3rd level. Just pure. And it was linebackers in the same gaps. It was giving up the edge twice because you have containment that come from the deepest guy, which at that time was Donovan Wilson, and you had Michael Parsons who didn't actually do the proper technique versus an RPO where you're supposed to break down and let the quarterback make a decision and then you break on it. It was just massive. It looked like we basically thought we was gonna just walk in that game and they was gonna roll over. And like a lot of people, I did a show this week and I basically said, remember Arizona, like people said, remember the Alamo. Because see, the thing about it is Arizona showed that talent is not the key. It's about playing together, and we wasn't playing together. It just being all the way honest, we was very undisciplined. And so even when we beat y'all, immediately when we beat y'all, I'm not gonna go into no major celebration. I'm gonna be like, you know what? I knew we was gonna beat them. Now what we got to guard against is overconfidence. Because, see, that's what can break us is being overconfident, walking into teams, walking into games, reading our press clippings that we the shit. That's what – and see, y'all fell for that too. Y'all fell for that too before in y'all past San Fran. So, now it was mostly – and it's not even my opinion. I did the film analysis to prove it. It was very undisciplined. But if you go look and contrast the way that we played our keys versus Arizona versus how we played y'all in the playoffs, it was night and day difference. We was all in position. We was all gang tackling. We was taking care of our leverage. Nobody was going to get outside of us. CMC wasn't able to get outside. Everybody was locked in, glued in, because it was like the pressures big in this game and the keys we took serious. So to just think that just because Arizona put up 200 yards, you just think it's going to transfer over to you, I guarantee it's not.
I like it. I like the guarantee. Steve M says Dak is not tough. Did you see his reaction?
Yeah, I saw his reaction. See, and you don't understand what's going on. See, when you saw him go at the media, what you don't know what's going on is always these petty, childish questions at Dak, and it's been like that for years. See, you just now tuning in. See, I've been watching these press conferences for years. All of those media people smart enough to know that interceptions never was a problem for Dak. Everybody know that was a combination of some of it was Dak, but it was a lot of tip balls, and the system of offense we was running was a very aggressive option route system, which required him to throw with anticipation, and the receiver had to actually see the defense as he was seeing it, which a lot of times, at least 4 of those interceptions was literally caused because the receivers was in the wrong position and Dak was throwing it in the right place. So when he said, man, you trying to piss me off, it's because they been like, put it like this. Do you think that the Buffalo Bills was asking Josh Allen week in and week out about interceptions? Do you think that they are asking Burrow week in and week out right now about the way he playing? But Dak is getting it on a weekly basis from the national media as well as his local. So eventually what you just saw was Dak say, man, y'all getting on my damn nerves. And Dak been like this for the last 3 weeks. So you just ain't been watching. Dak been chippy with them boys for the last 3 weeks because Dak is sick of it. And I'm actually glad Dak is actually showing the side of him that I got tired of corporate Dak. I got tired of say all the right things, Dak. I wanted the Dak, the Mississippi Dak. I want the Dak to say, man, get off my balls. All right. I'm finna go out here and win this game, and then you go try to now suck up to me. Like, I want that Dak. I want that Dak that show everybody you got me messed up, and you not gonna keep pissing on my name for cheap clicks.
You don't want Russell Wilson Dak?
Haha, that's funny.
Because Russell Wilson, he's always like, I gotta say the right thing at all the time. It's like,
I
dude,
hate
just
that.
be
I
a
hate
person,
that.
man.
I
Just
hate
be a real
that.
person.
I hate it. I hated it.
You go through emotions just like everybody else.
Like everybody else. And then Dak kept falling on the sword. That's what would get on my nerves. He would always fall on the sword. It wouldn't even be his fault. He'd be like, we gotta play better. I gotta do better. Put it on me. Dak.
Steve M says Dak's getting no sleep on a sleep number this week. I gotta say, sleep number beds are no joke. I got one. They are one of the best purchases I've ever made in my entire life. You should go get one. Maybe I'll get a sponsorship from them. We'll see. Steve M says Cowboys rival is Jacksonville. Y'all ain't ready. Ooh. Jacksonville though? Damn. He says, I disagree, Jesse. Purdy is 4 for 4 against Philly moving the ball downfield. I thought Dallas was the more difficult matchup. That's my last super. Good show, guys. Keith, I appreciate you for the supers, man. I will definitely go subscribe to your channel. He was 4 for 4, but let's also not forget. Let's assume he stayed healthy and didn't lose his right arm. That was still a turnover. Philly still got the turnover on him right after they had scored the touchdown. So it started out great, but that was still a fumble, and it was still recovered by the Philadelphia Eagles. Mm-hmm. And that's how the game would have started. And likely Philly would have scored some sort of points, and now the 49ers are at best in a 10-0 hole to start that game on the road. It's tough to overcome. That would have been tough to overcome. I think everybody forgets that play was also resulted in a turnover, not
especially
just
with a team like Philly with the best offensive line at the time. Like, they could keep the ball on the ground and control it. Like, yeah. And I just think, just as being honest, man, it's some teams you don't want them to get a lead.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. Like, we were at that point, we would have played right into their hands because Philly to me, you could run on them, but if you're down double digits. They put up 70-something sacks last year.
Yep.
70. It was like 73 sacks in the regular season. That defensive line was waiting for moments where they were ahead in games. It could do exactly that. They got their wish. So then their defense was going to get their wish. The offensive line, I mean, I don't know if our defensive line would have been able to hold up against that offensive line all game long without starting to send pressure and get away from what we like to do. So I don't know. I just don't think it's I'm not saying the 49ers for sure lose. I just know that they don't for sure win. That was going to be a tough situation to get out of. Weibo, coming from the Dallas Cowboys side, said Niners beat us by 3 with one receiver and a goal line running back and a crap OC. Things have changed. Oh, my friend, contraire, they have changed. Brock Purdy's no longer a rookie. You think we're only going to get 19 points out of Brock Purdy this time? Hell no. Hell no.
Weibo, solid. Chef's kiss. Perfect.
Nexus Lee says CMC got as many receiving yards as Pollard rushing. L.
Yeah, I said CMC right now.
Steve M says 27-14 Niners. Alice can't tackle. Watch the yak yards. Ooh. I'm gonna pay attention. Those yak yards. It's gonna be a game within a game. I'm gonna remember this chat. Mm-hmm. Cowboys fans. Steve M comes back, says Cowboys fans, the most casual fans on earth, i.e. LeBron.
Yes.
LeBron is a Cowboys fan. That's true.
No, he's not. And I just want to say something. I don't trust anybody. I mean, no person on this earth. If you're a Cowboys fan, Lakers fan, and Yankees fan like LeBron was, I don't trust you.
Yeah, I agree. Ali coming in over on the Cowboy side. Cowboys coming to kick the Niners' teeth in respect. I respect you too, Ali. Thank you for giving your guy Boss some love over there. Cole's coming in from the Cowboys side and says Jerry gave the 49ers the kiss of death. He did. He tried. I saw what he was doing. I don't believe him. Keith lied because that was not his last super chat. He lied.
He lied.
He says my little brother's 6'3" and I'm 5'6", but I'll always beat his ass. I'll forever be smoking on that Cowboys back.
Yeah.
I like it. Nice. Cole's Cowboys comes in and says hot take. Trey Lance gonna get playing time after we blow the 49ers out.
Love it.
Pack.
I love it. I see.
He's not gonna suit up though, right? Like he's been the emergency guy, so he's not gonna play.
Guy. I wish. I want it so bad, Cole, and I love the Messi to see you. Quality Messi, quality.
He's not even gonna suit up, so it ain't possible. Golly, Coles. FYI,
I love it.
FYI, Kyle's in his bag. McCarthy is just crusty. Yeah, McCarthy's killing it, man. It's crazy. Common Sense Lab, Dallas Cowboy fan, says, let's be real. The last time Jesse was on, he said the Niners had D4K?
Dak.
Oh, if the Niners had Dak, okay, I see the number 4. I get it. Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. They would have won past Super Bowls. Coaching matters. Dak will grow. Oh, I agree. But that was comparing Dak to Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, yes, Dak would have won a Super Bowl with the team. I'm not a Dak hater. I'm really not. I think Dak has been sitting between like 9 and 12 in the league for a long, long time. I don't know. For me, quarterbacks that sit in that 9 and 12 are very good. I also worry about paying those types of guys because I don't know if they're good enough to carry teams when some of that talent gets stripped away from them. There's not many guys that can truly carry teams. And so for me, if you don't have one of those guys, I'm constantly searching for one of those guys. I gave praise to Kirk Cousins earlier. I'm not paying Kirk Cousins. See, there's a difference.
But see, Dak is one of those guys. I want to be very clear on Dak is one of those guys.
I don't think he is, though. I don't
see, and Dak has always been, you said 10 to 12. Dak has been 5 to 7.
9 to 12. 9 to 12 is what I said.
9 to 12.
He's been as high. I've seen him as high as like 8. I'd say
I say 5 to 7 easy because the guys that they have over him, they starting to trend down. As they always do. Like, because remember, before, it was a whole new pack. It was who? They were saying, oh, clearly, what's his name? Wentz is better. He's a Ferrari, Dak a vet. I remember that talk. Oh, Goff is clearly better. That talk dispersed. Oh, Watson, easily better. That talk dispersed. Like then they had a new crop that they just skipped him. Oh, okay, we're gonna put Joe Burrow over him. Yeah, we're gonna put Allen over him. That's the new crop. And now they starting to trend on down, right? Because the league is catching up to him, and that continues to ascend as these guys plateau. It happens every 3 years. They just keep putting bodies in front of him as the new hopes, but then they fade out, and that continues.
Let's be clear. Josh Allen is better than Dak Prescott.
No, he's
Josh
not.
Allen is a G,
No,
G
he's not,
amongst
bro.
G's of
He is
all
not a
G's.
G. He's goofy
Josh
as hell.
Allen is
He
asked
turned
to
over
do more than any other quarterback in the league.
No, he's not. Listen,
Yes,
the
he is.
only reason Josh Allen took off was because of Diggs. Like, and anytime they always adding weapons to him, like they take weapons from Dak. Like they say
What
Dak can
weapons do
carry
they
a
have
team.
over there? What weapons do they? Oh, let's be real. That team faces more seven. See, this is what you don't know about me. This is what you don't know about me. I'm a Josh Allen stan. Like I was a big Josh Allen guy coming out of college.
So
like,
what do you got to say about those 3 interceptions he threw against the Jets that Dak didn't do?
Oh no. I agree with that. But
That's
what do you
and then he always been an interception guy that they never talk about.
Oh, hold on. So when he last year, when he went, I turned into a cartoon character there for a second.
Let's
go. When he last year, see, people don't. This is funny. This is real funny about this league. When somebody gets crowned like Joe Burrow, who I believe is very overrated, we can talk about him too.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody gets crowned and they start playing like crap, oh, it's the calf. He's got a boo-boo in his calf. Okay, that's great. But what about when Josh tore his UCL, partial tear? Like, you know, the thing that took Purdy out of the game in the Philadelphia Eagle game, that was a complete tear. Yeah. He had a partial tear from the first Jets game on, and that's when the turnover started to happen. But nobody wanted to give him excuses. Yeah. And then week 1, he played like garbage. I'm not going to lie. He played like garbage. That was not a good game. But what's happened since then? This man has, I think, since then, last 3 games, 10 touchdowns, completing 75% of his passes. The one turnover he has was an arm punt. It was 3rd and 20. He threw a deep go ball down the left sideline that was a 50-50 ball. It ended up being intercepted, but it was basically a punt. Like those aren't bad turnovers. Like at the end of the season, people will look at it and be like, oh, see, that was another interception he threw. But really, that's not a bad interception. There are bad interceptions, Jets game, and then interceptions like that, which really play no effect on the game. Josh Allen is so supremely talented than most quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That dude can run. There's not a throw that he can't make. He is phenomenal.
He got the most arm strength.
Yeah, yes.
I wouldn't say arm talent, but definitely like he got the most tools out of everybody.
Mahomes throws from angles and
angles,
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the angles. But in terms of who got like the most, like if you could build a quarterback, it'd be Josh Allen. But if you put it all together, like in terms of touch, accuracy, decision making, leadership, like put it like this: if CeeDee Lamb would have walked up to in the playoffs and walked up to Dak, like, bro, what you doing? What would be happening right now? Come on now. Like Josh Allen is just judged under a different standard than Dak. But let's say this then. I give you Josh Allen, but it's not too many much more. I just give you that one. But who else? It ain't gonna be too many more you can name over Dak.
Who do I take over?
Yeah, it ain't gonna be too many. It ain't gonna be too many. Like it's gonna only be maybe 5, maybe.
Here's what I'll say. Mm-hmm. There's usually about 5 core, and this is the way the league's always been, by the way. Mm-hmm. Like you can go through the history of the league, season in, season out. There's 5, maybe 7 quarterbacks that are legit mainstays in that top 10. Like every single year, they're a lock. They're a top 10 guy, you know.
Yeah. Mahomes.
Mahomes is a Brady, you know. Whatever. Yeah. Like right now, I think it's Mahomes.
Right.
I think it's Allen.
Okay, I put Allen in there. Okay.
I would say that to me that are mainstays now and going to be there every year. You can say what you want. I get it. He hasn't won. I think Herbert is every bit that deal too. I mean, this guy is a unicorn.
Oh, I wish I had my buttons. I'd be like, hell no.
Okay, but that's fine.
But talent wise, arm strength,
he got everything.
Leadership. I like it. Like, but
I guess my point is this. Here's my point.
You putting Herbert over Dak?
Yeah, I take Herbert over Dak. I don't even think twice about it. But for me, there's maybe 5 guys, 5 to 7 every year that are like mainstays throughout the history of the league. Then there are guys that creep up for a couple years. You talked about some of them: Watson, Stafford, Kirk Cousins has done it. Dak's done it. We've
Herbert.
seen Kyler Murray
Herbert.
in there.
Herbert.
Okay, Herbert. You've seen Kyler Murray in there.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence,
Crept up.
Joe
Yep.
Burrow. You know,
Trevor
these guys,
Lawrence, get out of here.
all these guys
crept
creep
up,
up and they kind of get in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
My point is that there are years, in my opinion, where Dak has been in the top 10 firmly, but there have been a couple years where it's like, he's probably like the 12th, 14th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And so for
and
me,
those were the years he was failed.
don't disagree.
He
Don't
was failed
disagree
by
with
front
that.
office because the years that where his numbers took a downturn, people forgot that in 2018, before we acquired Amari Cooper, that our receiving core was literally dead last in the average separation per target according to next gen stats. Dead last. And Dak was still winning with that. That people don't know that our number 2 and number 3, put it like this: Noah Brown is not even playing with the Texans. He was our number 2 last year. So as CeeDee Lamb was an emerging number 1, just like Aiyuk is now, but he was emerging last year. So it was the first time CeeDee Lamb had the mantle of number 1, and Dak's number 2 and number 3 was dirt trash. And I don't mean to say the word trash. I should never say that about a player. But they definitely was way beneath the averages of the NFL. And then Gallup was coming off an ACL and literally gimping around. And Dak had them as the number 1 offense. I don't know what's not carrying the team about that. Because, see, we saw what the offense was with Kelly Cooper Rush, because everybody like to brag about the 4-1 Cooper Rush, but they don't talk about the average rank of the offense was 27. Dak get there immediately, shoot up to number 1. Come on, how is that not top 5 easily? And then if you go look at the production of Dak, it's always top 5. Always, except when they give him bad weapons. If you give Dak good weapons, he gonna be a top 5 quarterback every year, year in and year out.
Real talk. This is a real question. And again, I'm not saying this is a slight, because if you've ever heard me talk about him, I'm always very complimentary of this player, and I have been in this podcast. What is different about Dak and Kirk Cousins? Be real. Go look at some of those numbers that Kirk's put up for 8 years. He's very consistent.
I'm gonna tell you the big moments in the big games. Because, see, they say that Dak is not good in the big moments. That's the most goofiest argument I've ever heard. Because guess who, for the first 3 years of his career, led all the quarterbacks minus Brady in game-winning drives? It was Brady number 1 and Dak number 2 for the first 3 years of Dak's career. Dak is still right now top 5 in game-winning drives right now. You know what I mean? So and so when you basically winning these games on game-winning drives, we all know what a defense is trying to do. They're trying to stop you from throwing. That's generally what you're doing on the game-winning drive, right? So when you winning those games and everybody know you throwing and yet you winning them, that means the team was on your back. And it was always on Dak's back. And Dak has carried this team a lot. But then they yet say he don't carry it as he carries it. So how do you take a team from 27 to number 1 when you the only difference, but then they say it's not you? It's crazy. But that type of logic only happens when they're talking about my team. Because, see, what they do is they inflate anything that's a negative. So, like, for instance, they're inflating right now the red zone issues. Right now, if the San Francisco Niners was winning all their games with blowouts, nobody be talking about red zone. Nobody. But because it's Dallas, they go say, these blowout wins, what are they struggling with? Let's highlight that. Oh, like they did, like check out this goofiness. This is exhibit A of what I'm saying. The year Diggs had 10 interceptions, they said 1,000 yards was put on him by PFF. That's a damn lie. Like, it was absolutely a lie. Because do you know how bad you got to be to have somebody put 1,000 yards on you? And you can't show me a game where somebody just really just ate up Diggs like that. And then when you go look at what they really looked at it at, they said, well, PFF, they don't know the coverages. They just assign blame to certain people and assume coverages. So that means they was assigning blame to Diggs most to inflate the negative so that they could put it out that he wasn't as good as he was with those 10 interceptions. So we get the negative press on stuff that's coming. So, right, like, for instance, the interceptions by Dak. Oh yeah, it became like, oh, it's the sky is falling. Dak has his interceptions, but nobody talk about the year that when Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl, he led the league in interceptions. Oh, it wasn't no big deal then, was it? Oh, it ain't no big deal that Josh Allen interceptions is through the roof and turnovers through the roof. Oh, it ain't no big deal about that. He's aggressive. He just believes in his arm. But when it's Dak, is it a problem? Is it a crisis? Do Mike McCarthy believe in Dak? It's just manufactured crisis.
I think two things can be true, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think a player can be overly hated,
yep,
and not given credit, and also not be elite. I think both things can be true, and that's where I put Dak. Niner Empire says, not wishing injury, not a Trey stand, but imagine the game on the line, Purdy versus Trey at the end. The media will have talking points the next day. The next day, they'd have talking points forever. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah,
that would never end.
That would be a lot of talking points. But guess what? The talking points wouldn't be about y'all though.
No, wow.
The talking points would be about Dak versus. They would skip the controversy of what San Fran might have
You're
lost.
Probably right. You're probably, especially if Dallas won, it would all of a sudden be like, oh, is Dak? I mean, Dak couldn't beat San Francisco and Trey. But, I already know where that would go.
They wouldn't even mention y'all. They would go right to the ratings magnet, and it'd be us.
Flav says the only way you can beat the Niners is by dinking and dunking and sustaining long drives for an entire game. Dak usually gets impatient and inaccurate, but he's dinking more this year. Can he stay patient? I don't know. Fantastic. I think that's actually a very good comment, Flav.
I love that's a smart comment. And that's what I want.
Very good comment. I
Great
agree,
one.
Flav.
Man, that show Niner people got good minds, man. For real. That's a good one.
Keith says, you still think that Paul? Nope. He said no. He said he did say no to that one already. He did say no to that one, Keith. He did say no. Steve says, boss, and I quote, excuse. And he's at your neck. He was last time too. I remember too.
I told you he was gonna do that. I saw him the last time. He just, he super chat and just destroyed me. That's cool.
Yeah. AIA says time is up, Dak. Not a single playoff win.
It's not true.
Steve M says he did have they just beat
Tampa, Seattle
Tampa last year. Yeah. I was gonna say, wait a minute, didn't they just beat Tampa?
Yeah, man. Just making
not against the 49ers. That's a whole different story.
No. That's we ain't winning against y'all yet.
Steve M says BHS final truth. Lakers, Yankees, Cowboys fans.
He felt me on that. He felt me. Yeah, I meant that too.
He did. All day, every day. Kim says, I'm a Niner fan, but Brock is 31st in air yards. He's not scary, in my opinion.
But that's smart. See, that's the thing. People knock that stuff. They knock Dak over that. That's smart football, y'all. People don't realize Brady won multiple Super Bowls doing this.
See, I think there's a couple things. I think you got to play to your strengths, and then you got to play the strengths of the team. And Brady could do it all, really. I mean, he was a chameleon. It's like, oh, you go get me Randy Moss. We're going for 50 touchdowns, and I'm airing the hoe out. Oh, you're giving me Wes Welker as my best weapon? Okay, we're dinking and dunking all over the field. Like, he was a chameleon. Oh, you bring me to Tampa and you think I'm old and shot, but you're going to give me Evans?
We're going to go,
I'm throwing it out.
Vertical.
You know what I mean? So, like, he could do everything. And I think Brock right now, especially coming off of arm surgery, is playing to his strengths. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as he plays on time and accurate, that's all that matters.
That's the most important thing, what you just said. See, people not game management too much. They think that, like, throwing downfield. You know what most people don't know, Jesse? You know what the average deep throw is by all quarterbacks? 2 throws a game.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say the most, like, if you look at quarterbacks, if we take deep, and deep is actually classified 20. As 20, right?
Yeah, past 20. Right.
But if you say, really, when people think deep, they think, okay, 30 plus 40 yards, right, like you're airing it out, right?
Yeah, but it's 20.
The quarterbacks that complete the most in a season are usually around like 12 completions, 40 yards or more. Like,
right.
That's the league leader.
Right.
Like, it's not a lot.
But that's what people think quarterback is. They think home run balls is quarterback. Now, like, if you dinking and dunking and y'all averaging 35 points, like, isn't it funny the teams that they knocking the most on air yards is Dak and Purdy, but right now y'all averaging 35 points and we got big blowouts, but people still complaining. Like, it's like, bruh, It's like, now, like, take the win how you get it, especially if it's big wins. Don't critique stuff that don't even matter.
Steve M says Dak can't win under pressure. Sorry, he's 15th best. Oh, he's not 15th best. I can't go there. This is the other thing that I think is a misconception. I think quarterback play every year is worse than people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yes,
it really is.
it is.
It's really not that great outside of a handful of guys year in and year. Like every year, there's somebody new that's the guy, and then he falls off, and then there's another guy, and then he falls off. It's the same thing all the time. Weibo says Dak has done that with wide receiver by committee. So that's what you're talking
Purdy
about.
is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Steve M says Dak isn't even the best quarterback in Texas. CJ is. Hey, Stroud's nice now. I had him as my number one quarterback coming out of the draft. I like CJ.
Without a doubt, I had him as my number one too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's that deal, I think. He's so accurate. Flav says if Dak and Russ Wilson had a baby, how many goal line interceptions? How many goal line? See, he gave an intelligent comment and then he set you up for the okey doke. He says, then how many goal line interceptions would they throw in 10 attempts? I say 8. I don't even know how to respond to that, Flav.
And he just living under the seat. That's living under the narrative that was put on Dak. That's all it is. It's a narrative that was put on Dak from just 1 year of interceptions. Versus they go ignore that Dak is top 5 out of all quarterbacks all time in interception to touchdown ratio. But they go ignore that. But they go focus. But
he did just throw an interception in the red zone, which
he threw one. I mean, everybody has done that. I think your quarterback probably has done that. Has he thrown an interception yet?
No, not a single interception, period.
Oh, he gonna throw it this week.
Okay.
We'll be talking about it.
Jeeves says Dak is a regular season GOAT, just like Cousins. I mean, they both put up some good numbers. Trey Fargo says, Jesse, you would take Kirk Cousins over Purdy. Bang, 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 Niner gang. Listen, bud, here's the deal.
Right,
again, when it comes down to Purdy, it's very, very hard to take what Purdy's done in a short stint over a career. I think it would be disrespectful to just flat out say that these 12 games or 15 games that Purdy has played override 8 very good seasons from Kirk Cousins. But if I'm doing a power rankings and who I'm taking in this moment, I would take Brock Purdy. But much like I said with Dak Prescott, if Kirk Cousins was the quarterback of the 49ers instead of Jimmy Garoppolo, they also would have won a Super Bowl. And if Kirk Cousins was the quarterback of this team right now, I think that they would be 4-0, and I would be picking them to beat Dallas as well. So I think Kirk Cousins is actually pretty good. Justin says, who on Dallas should the Niners be worried about on D, not named Parsons? Someone's going to get the 1-versus-1 out there. All right, let's talk a little bit about a couple players on D. We're almost through the super chats. Then we got to get our score prediction and get out of here. But I think this is a good question. Now that Diggs is out, I think a lot of people don't really know some of the players over on that defense. Why don't you give us some names?
Y'all definitely got to look out for Osas, who had a massive offseason, obviously, because he playing out of his mind. Tank is super underrated right now. He's doing so much havoc, but he's not being recognized because Michael Parsons is just creating more havoc. So look out for Tank, because Tank at one time was the number 1 free agent, number 1 overall free agent, and he was also playing San Fran last year injured. He's completely healthy, so look out for him. You also have the rise of our new guys right now. Some guys that y'all won't know about that we know about on here is to look out for. And I think it's probably one of the keys to this game is going to probably be Wanye Thomas. So he's a guy that was an undrafted free agent for us, but we just magical with those guys. 6'3", ran a 4.3, super versatile player, play safety, play linebacker. I think he's gonna be that guy that we go try to use to erase CMC. Because see, CMC is a matchup nightmare. You need a guy made in the laboratory for him, and he's that guy. You need a guy that can cover as well as come up and hit and has the intensity to match. That's to me one Ye Thomas, so look out for him. People also slipping on Bland, but they starting to wake up on Bland. Look out for Bland because Bland is just as sticky as Diggs. People don't know that, but he is. He has right now 8 interceptions, the most interceptions out of anybody in the league over the last 2 years. So he's having a year a quiet trajectory of what Diggs year 2 was, where he was on that crazy interception run. Diggs is on the same thing. Also, you make the biggest jump between year 1 and year 2. So expect Bland to make that jump. So we got a lot of, and then Clark. See, Clark has all the athletic ability, but he's also very, very slow at diagnosing right now. But if he can turn the corner and get his assignments down, the thing about him, he's wrong, but he's wrong in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? So if he end up being right, oh my God, like he's violent as hell. So I mean, the defense is stacked, bro. I'm just being all the way honest. I think we do have the best defense, like in the league. Like they have some that they measure called havoc rate, right? You know what havoc rate is? You ever heard of havoc rate? Okay, so with the havoc rate, Dallas Cowboys, before we played New England, our havoc rate, it had to be even worse now, was 80%. 80%. That mean on every play we was doing a breakup, pressure, sack. Like it would, like we basically 80% of the time is doing something majorly disruptive to our offense. So it's a lot of people on defense outside of Parsons, but Parsons is absolutely the glue of that because everybody get off because of him. Like he's the one, because you got to account for him on the offensive line. So if he line up over your center, he's gonna change up the whole count on your offensive line. He go change up the double teams and everything that you were trying to scheme him out of. You got to scheme across your whole offensive line, and he just creates all the one-on-one. So like, and I can keep going on and on. I ain't even mentioned Gilmore yet, so no, our defense is completely stacked. We also have Donovan Wilson, who gave y'all hell last year and gave Debo hell last year. So yeah, no, we got a lot of people that threaten y'all. Now, if I know we was gonna talk about matchups, and I just want to sneak that in here. The place to where I feel like we got some liability, and our biggest liability on defense, to me, is LVE. I don't think he should even play this game for the most part. I just don't think he fits the strategy that I would want us to take against San Fran. I think we made some critical personnel errors that don't have us in the ideal position to counter y'all and the mismatches y'all can do between Debo and CMC. So I think LVE, if you get him in space, y'all go do damage against LVE, and I would imagine that y'all go try to target him and single him out and try to have CMC versus him, especially in space. And I would pick CMC about 9 out of 10 times in that matchup.
What about like on first down? Would you like play him on first down where it's more likely going to be a run type situation, or just not? You wouldn't play him.
I wouldn't play him, man. I'm tired of LV. Like I'm sick of him. Like I just think he too up and down for me. Like if he played the way that he played in the playoffs versus San Fran, I could live with it. But I want to be able to trust you. I don't want to go into every game knowing what LV is going to show up this game. Is it going to be Arizona LV, or is it going to be playoff LV versus San Fran? So I at this point, I want our first round pick to be a linebacker.
Okay. That's totally fair. That's totally fair. And yeah, we were going to talk about matchups. I think
super chats is just so many.
Yeah. I mean, we
wouldn't get through the show.
Take precedence. James says Purdy and CMC had the whole offseason on the Kyle Shanahan playbook. Pressure on Quinn. Red zone is piss poor for the Cowboys.
Right. But don't leave off that we number one in 10 play drives, and don't leave off that we also number one in red zone attempts. Don't leave that off. That also says that we also, if we turn that knob on red zone, we go from a 40 burger team to a 60 burger. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and actually, if you look at the 49ers, this is what's interesting.
Y'all the same.
before Arizona.
Y'all was having
Yeah,
red zone issues. Yeah.
Yeah, we were. I think we ranked either 20th or 21st in red zone touchdown percentage,
and y'all turned the switch,
and we were still scoring 30 a game. So it's like, yeah. Daryl says, "Flav's so stupid." That was a pretty funny super chat. I'm not gonna lie. Steve says, "Dak 2-4 in the playoffs, beat an 8-9 team." Facts.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie. I also thought that Tom Brady and them were going to flip a switch and be good again. And Dallas made him realize he didn't want to play football no more. So
put him in retirement.
Justin says, who on Dallas's D is the liability? Well, I think you just answered that question. Look at you answering questions ahead of time. It's like you read his super chat.
And discipline.
LVE.
And discipline. We got to be disciplined. If we're not disciplined, our liability is us. It's like the biggest people that Dallas Cowboys got to beat is that mirror.
I like it. Trade targets for the Cowboys. This is a good one. This is something we've been talking about around 49er land quite a bit. Is who are guys that we want to target at the trade deadline? Have you put any thought into that at all? And do you think that Dallas?
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah?
I've been thinking about it lately. That's a good super chat. I've been thinking about like running back.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that we talked about 5-6 weeks ago that I said would scare the hell out of me is if you guys got Jonathan Taylor. Remember, we had that conversation then.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So now we too far from the trade deadline because I want to watch how these guys play out. But Rico with that hip issue, that concerns me because I already had injury concerns with him. So that makes me want to kind of look at some options. Then left tackle. Obviously, it's not some left tackle sitting out there in the trade deadline.
Trenches usually don't get traded on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah,
and linebacker, man. We got to look at linebacker, and and the thing is, it's a lot of good linebackers still out there too. There's some linebackers that could probably come in and right now be better than what we have, better leaders and everything. But I would say those three positions.
Okay. I like
everywhere else. We super solid. We super solid across the board. Everywhere else, kickers with it.
Yeah, not so much last year in the playoffs. Frodal says Purdy wouldn't look good without a run game. I mean,
we got to see him without it.
Ideally, you want to have a run game for all teams.
It helps all quarterbacks.
That's why I give Josh Allen so much love, is because they don't run the ball effectively. Do you know that Buffalo this year has seen 7 men or less in the box 96.5% of the time, and they still can't run the ball with consistency. It's crazy.
Okay.
Crazy. Keith Murphy comes back, says, let me ask, this is a good question. Did you think Dallas was going to win the last 2 years?
Yes, I did. But I was very realistic on why we wouldn't. And I always called out Kellen Moore. Like, if you go to my channel, matter of fact, if you look around the whole world, you're not gonna find.
I remember Kellen. So remember last year, you and I hadn't chopped it up at all. We had never crossed paths. I did a call-in show. This is how this relationship got started for people. So I had a different Dallas Cowboy fan on. She was fantastic, by the way. But you called in and said, hey, I want to chop it up, appreciate the opposite content. Let's have a conversation. And the conversation was great. And then the bet was at that time was whoever lost, if Dallas lost, then I got to go on your channel and gloat. Vice versa, if Dallas had won, you would get to come on my channel and gloat. You held true to your word. You invited me on, and we had a great conversation. Yeah. And so that's what kind of prompted this whole thing to start. So you did say, I remember in that very first conversation, I'm confident in everything but Kellen Moore.
Yep.
So
yeah, and you won't find nobody in the world who've done more content against Kellen Moore than me. You won't find one person in this entire world. Like, I literally have over 30 videos against Kellen Moore. I'm talking about whole shows, 2-hour shows. And I discovered it after the Arizona loss. I didn't see it at first. I was falling for the flamboyant numbers. I was falling for the number one offense. But then when we lost to Arizona, it made me dig even deeper. We lost to Arizona in 2021. They didn't have their current running back. I forgot his name right now. You know what I'm talking about. You said his name.
Who, Connor?
Connor. They didn't have Connor. They didn't have at the time Hopkins. They didn't have
they had like Edmonds or something with their running back. Like,
yeah. And they was rolling. They was hot, but they was injured, right?
Mm-hmm.
So going into that game, I was like, yeah, we getting ready. And both of their starting corners was out. They had nothing but backups. We lost in Dallas. And I said, whoa. Like matchup wise, they was worse than this Arizona that we just lost to, you know? And I said, what the fuck? And I said, wait, let me go look. And I started looking into the details. And when I start seeing that in the game versus backup corners at that time, CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper only had 4 targets. I said, what kind of offense does that? And so then I began to dig even deeper, and I started to learn about his aggressive option routes. And I started saying, oh, we running a system-based offense. It's not a matchup offense. And so then I started saying, okay, this offense is tricky. What it does is it performs well against weaker opponents and dumber defensive coordinators. But when you go against a good defensive coordinator who know how to give you confusing looks, that's going to confuse your weapons. If it don't confuse your quarterbacks, it creates chaos in the offense. And I started seeing how it broke down, especially in big games. And I began to attack him. So I was always measured on our talent, because I always feel like the last 3 years we've had better talent than y'all. Y'all have had better coaching and better culture. And I stand on that. Like y'all out-coached us, but we had the talent. It's finally this year that the talent and the coaching have lined. And Mike McCarthy's still rusty. And he rusty. Like Mike McCarthy is not even yet in his real play call form yet.
I'm about to find out on Sunday night. I love that this is a primetime game too. I love that. I love that. Brother Bob says 41-17 Niners ownage continues. Aiyuk and Kittle go off. Dak gets knocked out. JJ leaves mad as hell and threatens to fire Mike McCarthy after the game. Make sure you come back, BCS. He'll be on his channel. And link is in the description. We haven't done it all show. I always give the disclaimer when we do these, and I'm going to continue to do it and prop these guys up. Normally I say, hey, this man just gave me an hour of his time. This man and I have been here for 2.5 hours. Okay. 2.5 hours. We've been doing this damn thing. All right. Link is in my description. Go subscribe to his channel. If nothing else, subscribe to Go Talk That Ish after the game. This man will take it. He will get up there. He will say what went wrong. He will appreciate the love, even if it's manufactured love. Go over there and give him some of that love. Subscribe to his channel. He just gave 2.5 hours over here. Show some appreciation, man. Definitely show some appreciation.
Thank you.
He says for the Cowboys, it's not the red zone, it's the deadline. And I don't know. I think you ran out of characters. Did you, or you hit send on accident? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Are you reading that? Are you picking up anything from that?
He accidentally hit the send on it before he finished it.
I think so. And I wish I could. I'd go. You've been donating a lot of money. Let me see if I can find your thing here in a second. Cowboys fan 95 says 49ers red zone defense is not good, and Dallas's defense rarely let teams in the red zone. But when we do, we get stops. DC 4L.
All facts.
Okay. Dazza says, how much of the difference do you think Hargrave will make this time, particularly with the Cowboys O-line injuries? The Cowboys might be fully healthy. I mean, they might have all their horses playing. We'll see. But Hargrave is an upgrade for us. That is a major upgrade for the 49ers.
We got a lot of experience with Hargraves. The thing is now Hargraves is getting ready to be going against the best guard in the NFL right now. If y'all have not noticed, Tyler Smith is the best guard in the NFL right now.
He's very good. He's very good.
He's going to get neutralized likely.
He's very, very good, I will say. We'll see. He's very good, though.
Steve.
I don't
He
know about
talking
neutralized.
about respect after talking shit the whole show.
yeah.
It's all good, Steve.
Alice's cheeks, but respect, boss. Niners. See, that's what he does. He's like,
He
hey,
talk
you're gonna
shit
take a
the
yeah.
whole show and then be like
But
respect.
then he
Hell
sees that you
no, ain't no
handle yourself
respect.
like a G, and he's like, all right, respect.
Oh yeah. I ain't tripping. It's all good. It's all
James said Cowboys fans punching their third TV and for the third season, maybe 4 in the playoffs, 4-quarter defense, lost to AZ, no excuse. Dallas's offense is mediocre. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna go through real quick and see if I can find Buddy's the end of his
I
super
answer
chat,
that while you doing that.
he gave a
So
lot of money.
yeah, and I answer that while you doing that. So I'll say this, man. You've been listening to that last super chat. You've been listening to the 4-letter networks. And that's what they do. They brainwash people. They make because they highlight only the negative. So a lot of people think Dak is an interception quarterback because of how they highlighted it from last year. He's not, and he's never been. Right. So a lot of y'all think our offense sucks because the only thing you're hearing about constantly is our red zone struggles, but you're not hearing about the other side at all. You're not hearing about the areas where we're number one. And anybody who measured the whole Kool-Aid will say, you know what, them balls is a switch away. Just like y'all was, and just like you did against Arizona. Y'all was struggling in the red zone. Y'all hit a switch, and y'all began to feature McCaffrey. That was the key to what y'all did versus Arizona. Is y'all was swinging it out to him, getting it in space, and just putting it behind your best player at the time, especially in the red zone. That's McCaffrey. And y'all red zone went crazy versus Arizona and pulled out a win. So, we'll switch away on Arizona now. I'm just being all the way honest. I feel like Mike McCarthy is a little bit outdated in that red zone. I think he is. I don't like some of the things I was seeing. We also had a lot of bad execution in the red zone. I'm talking about a lot of bad execution. We had 4 drops by the tight ends alone in the red zone. Like them just catching the ball changes the whole conversation. I'm talking about right in their hands too. I ain't even talking about Dak tried to drill them either. I'm talking about some soft pillows, just drops, goofy shit. Like, and then it was just, bad execution. Like Dak threw slightly a bad ball to Gallup. CeeDee Lamb was crying for a pass interference instead of trying to fight for the ball. And the ball hit the DB right on the head. As CeeDee Lamb, like hands like this, you're like, bro, go for the, So like it did scheme wise. We wasn't taking what the defense was giving us. Like a lot of teams are literally playing us with outside leverage on man coverage because they know we go throw the fade in the red zone. That means that we predictable. Like, and we did that against obvious analytics where the slant was killing all day, and we stopped going to it in the red zone where we should have went to it for easy money. So, like, we got some switches we got to hit, but I do know Mike McCarthy is working on it. I know he's putting extra attention on it. The difference between him and Kellen Moore is this. He admitted it, he owned it, which means you go work on it. Jess, I'm pretty sure you got a relationship with somebody. You can't fix no relationship until either one of you do what? Admit to what's wrong. So same thing happened with Mike McCarthy. That's true. You can't fix it. So Kellen Moore, when they asked him about his woes, he doubled down on his offense. When they asked Mike McCarthy about his woes, he took ownership of it and said that's something we have to put more work into. So he's going to put more work into it. Y'all gonna see the results. We will be in mid-season form within the next 3 weeks. We will be hot within the next 3 weeks. And it's going to be obvious, especially after we beat y'all, that we're a team to be reckoned with and should be a top 4 contender to win the whole thing.
Keith, if you want to, without paying, you've given
put another
enough.
comment in there. Yeah,
put your comment in there without paying, and
I do the same thing, Jesse. Yeah, I do the same thing.
You wanted to say something, and I want to answer your question, but
he put a lot of money. Yeah, he put a lot of money in the show, man. And I'll sit back and wait on that
out
too,
there, man.
And I'll wait, bro. We ain't no rush on that because when we see people like you that's committed to building the quality channel, with Last Second Sports, we all go know to be patient and let you get your coming in. And it's just what it is. And then sometimes, we don't even see it. So, it's one of those things. He called it that you didn't finish your statement. We just being courteous to let you get your last comment in there.
Let's make our official prediction. Boss, I'll go first on this one. I've been thinking about this one all week. And the 49ers have scored 30 or more in all 4 games. And so the question to me was, obviously, I'm picking the 49ers to win, but the question to me is, can they reach that 30 again on this defense? I think that's where I'm really struggling. And I did say, obviously I'm picking the 49ers, but when the schedule came out, I actually picked Dallas as one of the losses the 49ers had. I picked 4 losses for the 49ers. One of them was this Cowboys game. But the 49ers traditionally have started off much slower in the past.
Yeah.
This year, they have not done that. And so one thing that I said, it changed the trajectory. Exactly. So one thing that I said was, I am not going to pick against the 49ers until I actually see them lose. I got to see them lose. And then once they do that, then it'll be like, okay, going forward, I'm going to start picking for real, win or losses. But until they prove that they're going to lose a game, and they will eventually, until they prove that, I'm not going to pick against them. So I'm not going to do that here today. The question is, can they get to 30? And what is Dallas' side of that score? I think this is the first time the 49ers this season do not get to 30.
I agree.
I think the 49ers are going to win this game. I think it'll be a good game. I think the 49ers win this game 27-20. The 49ers win this game. What is your score prediction?
I have Dallas winning this game 24-14.
14?
Yeah.
You know what? Hold on, boss. Guys, I got to admit this. This is one thing I didn't say, and I should have told you this. My headphones have been cutting in and out. I haven't heard right all day.
You playing?
What's the score? What's the score again? Sorry.
That was good.
I thought you said 20. I thought you said 14.
See, this is what I mean by y'all cocky. See, this is what I mean by y'all cocky, man. Y'all are so cocky right now over these 35 points. Yeah, y'all not gonna give. Yeah, y'all. And see, I'm gonna give you my logic why I say this. Because see, Mike McCarthy is one thing that people not factoring in as well. That's just as big opportunities for you to score. So when you lead the league in 10 paid drives, when do you get the opportunity to score? Plus, on top of that, we have a good history of keeping y'all under 20 points. So when you add the new play calling style and the long methodical drives with the rest of the defense, I see y'all struggling greatly to score. I also think y'all got too many playmakers to act like y'all not gonna score. That's just goofy. And y'all play calling just too good to think that y'all not gonna score. So my logic of 24-14 says that we do what we've been doing, and where we're number one. See, people don't want to say that. We number one in 10 play drives. I think we're going to continue that trend. I think we're going to continue to milk clock on people and control. I think where we're going to get you is that this play caller is going to attack the matchups and where we're going to try to take advantage of your weak link secondary. I think that's where we go get you. We go get a couple of big plays on you, and I think that's what's going to get us closer to that 24. We gonna need to get about 10 points from like special teams and defense. But I think both offenses is not gonna really be effective because both defenses are elite. We are seeing the number 1 and number 2 defense right now, and we are the number 1 defense right now. Y'all are the number 2 defense, but both of them are elite to the point to where I don't think either offense is gonna be all at this one. So that's why I think it's gonna be kind of like a 24-14 game. It might even be lower than that. That's my logic on it, and that's why I'm going with us. And I think I have the evidence and the measured Kool-Aid to justify why I have my thoughts on that.
It's actually interesting that you're talking about this time of possession thing, and plays purpose, because I actually got into the weeds earlier, and I just happened to send these stats to my friend. And I'm glad that I did, because you're absolutely right about the Cowboys. So your average time of possession is 3 minutes and 33 seconds, right? Like, obviously there's 3 and outs and all these other things. Your average time of possession is 3 minutes and 33 seconds, and you average 7.56 plays per drive. Okay. The 49ers average time of possession is 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And we average 6.34 plays per drive. So you're right. The Cowboys, when they get the ball, they're keeping the ball a little bit longer and they're running more plays. Here's where a big difference comes in, though.
All right.
Points per drive. The 49ers are at 3.05 points per drive, and Dallas is at 2.44. So y'all are keeping the ball longer. You're running more plays, but you're not finishing those drives is at as high of a clip as the 49ers. So, but I think it's a great stat you brought up. I just wanted to point it out because I literally had sent that like in a nerdy getting in the weeds earlier with one of my guys. So,
but I think those weeds are good indicators of what's likely to happen. So that's why I don't see it being high scoring. That's why I also think safe and boring is the key to both teams. Like, being honest, like, this is not a game to take chances on, in my opinion. I just don't believe that. If I'm just out for the win, I want boring, believe that it's gonna come. Because see, this is the thing. Y'all defense got holes in it. Y'all do. I like y'all front. Y'all like y'all front, but y'all back end got holes. Y'all got big play potential. Like, y'all got ate up by Wilson from Arizona. Come on, man. At Wilson? Like, and we got way more than Wilson. Right? Can we be honest on that? Can we be honest that we got
the
way
49ers
more?
haven't played. The 49ers have not played an elite wide receiver. I talked about that earlier this week.
You see what I'm saying? So now y'all getting ready to get a team of them. I don't mean elite. Like, I don't think we elite, but we quality cooks. He go get unleashed this game. CeeDee Lamb been cooking, right? He definitely been cooking. Even when we put him on.
CeeDee's elite. I think Aiyuk's elite, and I think they're in the conversation together. So I think CeeDee's elite.
So, but that's why I got my prediction, and I think I have good logic behind it. I just didn't pull that out my butt. I think the thing I looked at, like, how we play, how both teams play, and see, y'all go try to do the same thing we doing. Y'all go try to keep our offense from getting the ball. Y'all play the same way. I just think in terms of methodical offense, we've been better. Y'all been better at finishing than us. So if we can turn that switch on in terms of finishing those drives, and most of it has been execution. It like drops. Like, it's not like play calling just trash. That was the right play, right throw. Damn, So it's one of those things. Get the ball, catch the ball. Totally different outcome in the red zone. Totally different conversation about Dallas Cowboy problems.
Now, you are expecting a lower scoring game, and I think this is a good question here by Daze. He says, can the Cowboys offense keep up with the Niners? The Dallas is scoring a lot on defense. So let's say it does turn into a shootout. Do you think that favors the 49ers, or do you think that favors the Cowboys?
A shootout?
Yeah, like, let's just listen. It turns into a track meet somehow.
I think that favors Dallas because I don't know if Purdy has been tested enough in a shootout type game. You know what I mean? I think his games have been more managing games, not I got to chunk this thing around games, So if it's a shootout, I'm going with the guy that been in the biggest wars, the most wars, and the most skins on the wall, and the most experience, and that would be Dak and our offense.
Okay. Brother Bob says, stop blaming the media. It's weak-ish. Y'all not good. It's not good.
I just like, man, my boy, this stupid chat talk shit. I love it. That's all he do. I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna pay.
We got a couple of them. Brother Bob. He's funny. Justin says, what wide receiver is going to get cracked the hardest this game? Oh, that's a good question. That could come from either side.
Debo.
Oh, Debo is going to get hit the hardest.
Yeah, it's gonna be Debo. It was Debo the last time we played him. It's because Debo.
He did get hit pretty hard in that game, if I remember.
Yeah, he got hit. Yeah, Donovan Wilson let him have it. Now,
yeah, he got hit pretty hard.
And it makes sense. I play defense and I get it, man. Let me tell you the truth, Jesse. I was so mad early this week, man. I was gonna be such an asshole to all the people I was gonna do content with because I was starting to get in my game mode, right?
Yeah.
Like, cause I played and I heard all the disrespect they was saying about us trying to make it seem like San Fran's physical, and they made it sound like we the soft team. It's like, nah, bro. And it was pissing me off, and I started to get into a game mode. And I said all that to say, when you get into that type of mode, you look for any type of motivation to hate the other person. I was mad at you, Jesse, for no reason. I was just mad at everybody. Said I was just mad at
He's all
anything.
slighted.
Everything red, I was mad at. If it was, if I had a nosebleed, I got mad at myself. Damn it! Like anything red, I was mad at. So, but like, so that's what Debo is. He the guy that came out with the boombox. He the guy that's the leader in turn, not leader, but he's the guy that's out there. Yeah. So a defense is gonna put a target on him, like, I want to shut him up. I want to shut him up. See,
plus his name is Debo,
and his name is Debo. See,
and he got the FaceTime call during the play.
Yeah. See, all of that. So we got a circle around him. That's why I think it's gonna be him now. Aiyuk is the kind of guy that a defense respect. You know what I mean? Like, is when you play football the right way, like Aiyuk does. We see when you play receiver like he plays it, hard, tough, fight, and he'll route you up, and he not friendly. He'll go at Michael Parsons. I'm like, we turn around, we like, I like Buck, even though he's going against me. I've said that to cats, like, I suppose to hate it, but I like how that dude play. You know what I mean? So Aiyuk ain't gonna have that target that Debo is.
You know what's interesting about Debo and Aiyuk is Debo with the ball certainly earns that name, Debo.
Yeah.
But without the ball, Aiyuk really should be called Debo because he will go after you every play, regardless of whether the ball's going his way or not. He will put it on you.
Football.
So it's interesting. It is very interesting. Ali comes over from your channel, says, "Hear me and hear me good." Nice, good start. The Cowboys are coming to kick the Niners' teeth in. Respect.
Yep.
You know, the best part about this is his exact super chat from last time, but he just added the "hear me" and "hear me good." He wanted to make sure that we heard him, that I didn't gloss over the fact that he said that already. I see you, Ali.
I agree.
Juan says, "Why isn't anyone talking about Purdy's pocket awareness, poise, and confidence?" I think you just did. One.
He balling, man.
Steve says, "Boss, I just subbed, so now we can become besties."
Oh hell, man! I don't know, bro. I'm gonna warn you, man. If you come over like you over here, you ain't gonna make it over there, bro. I'm gonna just tell you, we got real shooters. Like, so the trolling that you able to do over here, trust me, you won't last 2 seconds, bro. Trust me, they gonna shoot you. They go boom.
Brother Bob says, "Later nails in chat, wifey calling for the Netflix." I feel it, and that is
Handle
actually
your business. Handle your
what
business.
We're gonna do. We are gonna end right there. Almost 3 hours. Boss, you and I will be in communication. At the very least, right now we got a hat bet. So make sure you subscribe to Boss's channel. Link is in the description after the 49ers win. He has said he will wear a 49ers hat on his stream. He'll have to order it. It'll give him, take a week or so, but he will wear it.
I'll go buy it that day.
And if the 49ers lose, then I will be wearing a Cowboy hat on this stream. For the love of God, this is not the game that the 49ers can lose. They've got to win this game. They will win this game. Boss will be wearing a 49er hat. I will be wearing a 49er hat, and it'll be great. Boss, thank you so much for joining me as always.
And in the meantime, before you close us out, the reason why I'm wearing this hat because it's early Christmas.
That's right. And you believe in Santa Claus, and Santa Claus wears red. All right, y'all, have a good blessed night.